कब इंटरव्यू है कार्तिक आपका?
सर 18th को है सर, 18th को मॉर्निंग शिफ्ट में।
अभी हम लोग रीस्टार्ट करेंगे, अभी हमारी इनफॉर्मल बात हो रही है आपसे।
यस यस सर यस।
बायोडेटा आपने दे दिया है?
यस सर दे दिया सर।
आप मुझे भी थोड़ा अपडेट कर दीजिए ये।
जी यस
हाँ,
सर my name is Kartike, and sir I've done my schooling from Kendriya Vidyalaya Bamroli Prayagraj, and then sir I have done pursued BA LLB from Faculty of Law University of Allahabad. Then sir I did LLM from the same university and completed it in 2021.
थैंक यू। ओझा साहब, बाकी लोग हैं?
बस 2 मिनट जो मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, जस्ट 2 मिनट दो।
ओके।
शौर्य स्टार्ट करते हैं, आप स्टार्ट करो शौर्य।
Hello, dear. How are you?
Good evening sir. Fine sir. How are you sir?
I'm good too. Tell me, what is your plan B for the career?
Sir, after sir my BLLB, I pursued sir LLM, and sir I'm sir UGC net qualified, and sir I'm also enrolled in PhD sir as a research scholar in University of Allahabad in sir February this year. So sir, if for which sir I have to do a different thing from being a judge, sir I will pursue the job of being a assistant professor in any college.
With the same set of attributes and personal qualities, you are aspiring to be a judge also, and your plan B is to become an assistant professor. Could you please convince us as to why, as to how the same set of attributes can help in either of the careers?
Sir, in both the fields, assistant professor as well as being a judge, in both the fields, we need a in-depth knowledge of law of all the subjects, basically. And sir, in addition to the subjects, we should also have the art of implementing those laws, whether they help in deciding the cases, or if we want to convey that knowledge to our dear students while being an assistant professor. So, sir, the knowledge as well as the implementation of that laws with knowledge, assimilation of knowledge with the laws and their application, sir. So, both these two main qualities they are required in for being a judge also and for being a good assistant professor. In addition to these qualities, there are also certain other qualities that may be different for assistant professor and for being a judge in the judiciary field.
All right. So you said that in both the profiles, very good and sound understanding of law is required. And
Yes.
on that, my question again is, it was asked yesterday also. My question to you is there an absolute presumption in law that the judge should know law?
Sir, it is not always possible for a judge to know all the laws that exist in, because today there are diverse fields. from science and technology to all the basic laws to science and technology, and there is a lot of diverse field. Still, sir, a judge is always be expected to know the basic laws and their implementation in the day-to-day activities.
All right, fine. How do you see bar bench relationship evolving? In which
Sir,
direction?
I feel, sir, in my view, bar and bench, sir, they both play a very important role, being from the same legal fraternity, and both play a pivotal role in giving, imparting justice to the needy people. But, sir, in the last 1 or 2 years, sir, we have seen that there is a bit of friction between bar and bench regarding the collegium system. And sir, there have a lot of efforts have been made from the government as well as from the honorable apex court also to improve this bar and bench relations. And sir, they both play a very they both should work in tandem so as to ensure that justice is imparted to all the people of the country, all the citizens of
My
the country.
question is, I'll give the benefit of doubt. Perhaps you could not listen to it. I'll repeat my question. In which direction do you see bar bench relationship evolving?
Talking about the present scenario, sir, I feel that the relations they are not in a good in a good state now in the last 1 or 2 years, sir.
Okay. Tell me one thing. Mens rea, everybody understands, even a basic student of law understand.
Yes.
What is how mens rea is drifting in socio-economic offenses? How much importance attached to mens rea in socio-economic offenses? Is there any delineation as compared to other cases?
Sir, mens rea being an important element of making a person culpable for any sort of crime that is done under the Indian Penal Code and also under the various offences. But sir, over the recent period of years, there has been a trend in socio-economic offences that the importance of mesria is been getting lowered and lowered as the time is progressing. And in some various special offences for the Fugitive Offenders Act in the PMLA Act, sir, mens rea has been given less importance, and if a person is made liable under that act, then he is liable, sir, for the offense.
That's absolutely right. So you're on the spot. Absolutely right. Tell me, have you heard the terms strict interpretation and liberal interpretation? If yes, what do you understand by this?
Sir, I've heard both the terms. Sir, in strict interpretation, sir, we go as per the law. Matlab all the requirements of the law should be fulfilled. And sir, in literal interpretation, sir, we go into the main purpose, the crux of that, why the law has been made. So, sir, in strict interpretation, we go as per the law, what is laid down should be exactly fulfilled. And the literal purpose, we go to the literal purpose, the purpose for why the law has been laid.
I'll give you a chance to revise because I think that you know the answer, but you are intermingling it because you're not able to frame the sentence properly. My question is strict interpretation versus liberal interpretation, not literal. Liberal interpretation, strict versus liberal.
Yes, sir.
These approaches are adopted by the courts. Then
Yes,
we
sir.
all understand. When do they adopt these approaches?
So, for example, if a person has to file a public interest litigation, and when he files a public litigation, if the apex court or the high court is of the opinion that there is a bona fide public interest that will be served by accepting that public interest litigation, though the requirements are not fulfilled of the PIL and the content and requirements, the courts have been liberal in accepting it, sir. Even the letters that have been drafted to the apex court, they have accepted it as a public interest litigation.
All right, fine. Take it. Maybe we can move ahead. How do you differentiate common intent and common object?
Sir, common intention, sir, has been it is mentioned in section 34 of the Indian Penal Code, and the basic objective of in common intentions, there is a pre-arranged plan between the parties, they want to get a particular purpose they want to fulfill. There is a prior meeting of mind between the parties, and sir, in common intention that we can see in section 149 of the Indian Penal Code. The objects are those objects that are fulfilled that are related to section 141 of the Indian Penal Code, that is to overhaul by criminal force the central government, state government, the parliament and the legislature of the state, to resist the execution of law and legal process, to commit mischief and criminal trespass, to compel any person by force to do what he would not have done, or omit him to do what he would have done, or to prevent any person from enforcing any right. So
Are
the
kidnapping
description,
and abduction, are these two different things?
yes, sir, both are different things, sir. Section 359 deals with the kidnapping, that is of two kinds: kidnapping from lawful guardian and kidnapping from India. And so, Section 362 of the Indian Penal Code deals with the provisions relating to abduction. Sir, kidnapping can be done of any male person below the age of 18 years, and female 18 years, male 16 years, and a person of unsound mind. Whereas abduction can be done of any person. In kidnapping, sir, it is a strict liability offense. There is intention does not play a role. However, sir, in abduction, intention plays a very important role. The consent of the person in kidnapping, sir, is immaterial. Whereas, sir, in if in abduction, sir, the person abducted himself consents, then it will not amount to an offense. Kidnapping, sir, is not a continuing offense, and whereas, sir, in abduction, where a person goes from one place to another, in each of the place is said to be offense is said to be committed, and it is a continuing offense.
Okay, tell me a couple of your areas of interest in law. Which fields would you name?
Sir, constitution and sir, contracts, sir, I'm comfortable.
All right, all right. So, what is the topic of your thesis?
Sir, balancing the sanctity of freedom of media with freedom of speech and expression under Article 19(1)(a).
All right. How long have you been doing this research work now?
Sir, it just 4 months, sir.
All right, all right. And in these 4 months, can you because the topic is so interesting, can you give some insight on how to balance it?
So they should,
Primary
sir,
observations.
yes, sir. Sir, Article 19(1)(a) deals with freedom of speech and expression, though it has not mentioned freedom of press as expressly, but in all those judgments, various judgments like Circle Paper versus Union of India and Bennett Coleman versus Union of India, in both these cases, the Supreme Apex Court had invalidated the law which were used to muzzle the free press. And sir, there should be a particular act, sir. As per my opinion, whatever research I have done in these 4 months, so there should be a particular act which specifically deals with the freedom of media. There are a lot of things that have not been defined, that have not been defined. Though the Indian Penal Code, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, that has been drafted now, that is a bill now in a preliminary stage. It has also put in a specific offense of hate speech. So, sir, freedom of media can only be, sir, it can be ensured where there is a particular act that deals with the media, and the spheres for the that how far it can go into all the spheres of the workings of the government. How can it report the cases when it cannot disclose the identity of the victims? It has been discussed in various acts, but it is very in a very small it is a very in a small manner. There is no elaborate for elaborate. It has not been done elaborately for all the offences. So, sir, a specific offense that should be there, and that deals with the freedom of media. Only then, sir, the media can be ensure that it plays a very responsible. It acts as a responsible fourth pillar of the democracy.
All right, all right. Tell me one thing. Suppose we as a panel actually find you that you may not be a fit person to be a judge, but you are a fit candidate for being an academician. Suppose this is our opinion. All right. How do you see? How do you find our judgment?
Sir, I will try to find out the drawbacks. What the honorable the judges is sitting in front of me, why they think that like that. And sir, I will try to improve on those facts.
Is being
Basic,
more suitable for assistant professor a drawback?
sir, it's not a drawback. That is also a very noble job. But sir, I feel that uh, uh, I have always, I am from a sir, rural background. I have always heard ki people say in a layman language that judge collector ho kya. So sir, I from the childhood only I used to listen this that being a judge is a very respectable job, and there is a lot of perks as well as all the responsibilities. We get an opportunity to impart justice to the people. So sir, that is also a very good job, sir. But I feel, sir, ki I can serve the society as well as, sir, I can fulfill my own what I want to do. Sir.
In a country and in a society, in a culture like ours, where Guru Govinda Do Khade Kake Lago Pae, when that thing goes on, in that society, do you find it very inspiring that people, instead of saying ki teacher ho kya, they are saying ki judge or collector ho kya, assigning more value to judges and collectors and not to teachers, to treat teachers as a second grade servicemen? Do you find inspiration from this?
Sir, there a coin has two faces. Overemphasizing on being only a judge or a collector and then ruining your life. Yeah, if you are not suited for that thing and you are just mugging up the things that I want to become a judge or magistrate and ruining your other resources and what you are capable of doing, sir, that is not a good thing. And sir, I agree to some point to your fact, sir, ki society is overemphasizing on certain things, but sir, as far as my personal, sir, wishes and my wishes of my parents, sir, I want to be serve as a judge, sir.
Name three qualities which would help you in being a good judge.
Sir, first is, sir, judicial temperament, sir, is very important. The
And what is that?
application, sir, we all the people know law, but the application of laws in a particular set of circumstances, and sir, ability to communicate, and sir, it also includes the ability to listen. If someone is coming to our court and he wants a certain relief from us, we cannot be strict. We cannot interpret the law strictly in front of him, because as we know, sir, India a lot of problems like poverty, illiteracy is also there. So, sir, judicial temperament, ability to communicate, and sir, the humility and the patience, courage. All these things, sir, are required for being a
That's
good
all
judge.
right. I understand your principle in its entirety. I am in agreement with that. But I have my own objections, which I would like you to address. My objection is that on the basis of, if your judicial temperament fluctuates on the basis of the socio-economic position of the person who has come to knock the doors of judiciary, then you are biased. Please, how do you address it?
Sir, I will try to be within the four walls of law, sir, not over trampling the laws. And sir, within the law, whatever the provisions have been laid down, I will try to give benefits of those things to the people.
Very well. So that was one. Number one, judicial temperament.
Yes,
I
sir.
asked three.
Yes, sir. Sir, ability to communicate, sir. That also includes the ability to listen the parties who have come to our court to seek justice.
Okay.
And sir, these
Ability
are,
to communicate. Isn't this ability more important in the case of the lawyer or the solicitor?
sir, I feel that for a judge also, sir, he should be patient enough to listen to all the parties.
Patience is different from communication. All right. Anyways, we are not going to nitty-gritty. Third one.
And sir, courage and sir, patience is also required, sir, for being a good judge.
Okay. Do you find any place of integrity in this matrix of characters? Where is integrity, if not in top three?
Yes, sir, integrity, sir, is also very important.
Very important or most important? for a judge?
Most important, sir. For being a judge, sir, it is most important.
Isn't it? Integrity. Fine, fine, fine. That's how do you rate yourself in terms of integrity? How do you find yourself? Make a very unbiased assessment of your character. Where would you rate from, say, from 1 to 10? Where do you find yourself?
Sir, rating, sir, oneself is very, sir, difficult. But, sir, I've always tried to maintain, sir, integrity in college life, professional as well as personal life, sir. And, sir, I've tried to be always be in a good title manner with all the self-respect and the things which are expected of a good human being.
What's your hobby?
Sir, my hobby is, sir, playing cricket, and, sir, with all the lockdowns and the restrictions, sir, I also started liking for cooking.
Cooking. Wow,
Yes,
wow,
sir.
very well, very
Just
well.
started, sir, with all the lockdown restrictions at
I
that time, sir.
understand. What have you learned?
Sir, I can all these things that are eaten, the curries, paneer, and the lady's finger, and all these vegetables, and, sir,
Very
that
well. Who are you learning
Hindi.
from?
So from others, sir, or if I get, if I'm in doubts, I refer to YouTube and sites, so that.
That's wonderful. Very good of you. What are the qualities which come in as you progress in your hobbies, both of your hobbies? Do you think that they have helped you in refining your character as a person?
Yes, sir. Playing sports, sir. I'm from a defense background, sir. So sports has played an important role from my childhood, sir. Always, I used to give my some of my time for playing cricket and other sports also, if cricket is not possible. And daily, sir, how much as far as it is possible, I give hour or two to physical activities. And since, sir, in lockdown, those things were not possible, and a bit of studies with all these things, sir. So cooking is also, sir, a good hobby, sir. So I also developed a liking for it. Both of things, sir, they freshen up my mood, and they help me in my studies also. The efficiency gets it gets better, sir, with doing some of your hobby which you like, by doing giving some time daily. So it helps in my studies and day-to-day activities.
All right, all right. That's very good. My last question for now is, what is the significance of your name in Indian culture?
Sir, the name, sir, Kartikeya, he's the elder son of Lord Shiva, sir. And he's also
Okay.
known as, yes, sir.
And that's it? And you know anything more about him?
Sir, he's also known as the god of war, but, sir, I don't know the reason why he's known as, sir.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. So I'll hand over to the other respected members of the panel, and we'll get back again when the feedback starts.
Swati.
Namaskar, Kartik.
Namaste, ma'am.
So you were just telling about your name, that he is the god of war, and your father was, I believe, in the Air Force.
Yes, ma'am, he's still in Air Force, ma'am.
Okay, he's still in the Air Force. So have you moved around a lot, or you
Yes, ma'am.
studied from one place?
Ma'am, for the last 15 years, I'm in Prayagraj only. Since my father got posting in Air Force Station Bamrauli, so I was here. Before this, ma'am, my primary education is from Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. My first to fifth primary education is from there. And before that, I was in. My father was posted in Solan district, Himachal Pradesh.
Oh,
So these are the three places.
So you've done the north, the south, and Prayagraj is your place. So, okay. So tell me, do you know anything about the Sabrimala controversy, or why was there a controversy?
Ma'am, in this in Sabrimala controversy, the women were not allowed to enter into the temple, and the Honorable Apex Court. I'm not able to recall the name of the case, ma'am. In that case, the the Supreme Apex Court, Honorable Apex Court had allowed the women to enter into the temple.
So they can enter now.
Yes, ma'am. As far as I know, ma'am, after that judgment, ma'am, women are being permitted to enter into the temple.
So in today's day and age, you agree with these kind of customs? I'm not talking of the law, I'm talking of the custom.
Ma'am, I feel like customs should always be in consonance with what the society need at that time. And in today's era of
Let me rephrase. I wanted to ask you, as if you're a judge, would you have given a similar judgment? Or would you have had a differing judgment, keeping in view the customs being followed of that particular place?
yes, ma'am. As far as that case is concerned, I don't know into the. I don't know that intricacies and all the
No, I'm
details
not
of
asking
that
you for the case. I'm asking you, the customs are that women are not allowed in a temple. Some lady files the case. What would your judgment have been if you were the judge?
Ma'am, keeping into the consideration of all the facts and the circumstances in that particular case, ma'am, if all the things, if I think that there is no value and no consideration for disallowing the woman, ma'am, I would have allowed the woman to enter into the temple. Because today,
You're doing research, right?
yes, ma'am.
And you were just saying your research is on freedom of the press expression.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So doesn't the constitution also grant us freedom of equality where gender is concerned, where religion is concerned?
Yes, ma'am. The Article 14 of the Indian Constitution also grants equality to men and women, and Article 25 to 28 deals with the freedom of religion. A lot of practices from the past, if we see the past from the previous centuries, a lot of discrimination has been done against the women in garb of these religious practices. And in this 21st century, ma'am, I feel that now these practices should go. These can't
So we are not
continue.
talking about you as a person. I'm asking you as a judge, what would your judgment be? You are sitting in the seat of a judge. Kartikeya, I think आपका freeze हो गया है. Can you hear me? Is it mine or is it? Kartikeya, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'll ask you
Ma'am,
something. Have you heard of the adage, justice is blind?
Sorry, ma'am. I'm not able to hear.
Have you heard that justice is blind?
Yes, ma'am. I have heard this quote.
So what is your view on it?
Ma'am, I think that while imparting justice to people, the court should be blind in the sense that there should not be any discrimination between the citizens of the country, and justice should be imparted to all the people with fairness, and so that our country progresses in a much better way. So
only thing is that country should progress in a better way. That is the reason that you should do this. Or just as a judge, you have to tell me, what do you understand by justice is blind? You're on the right track. You're saying the correct thing.
Ma'am, I feel that as being a judge and talking about this court, I should be fair and impartial while delivering the justice, while delivering the my judgments in all the cases which come before me. Okay. And there should not be any extraneous consideration.
Okay. Tell me, you are into your hobbies of playing cricket and a sportsperson, and now you've taken up cooking. So what are the qualities there you use in your hobby that would help you in being a better judge?
Ma'am, in both the cases, while in my both the hobbies as well as in being a judge, in both the things, while playing cricket also, ma'am, there was a teamwork that has to be done. While being in while being in a judicial service also, there is a teamwork that needs to be done, and with all my fellow mates. And ma'am, discipline plays a very important role. And while playing cricket also, and while imparting my services being a judicial officer, and discipline, we have to scratch from zero while batting also, ma'am. If we are set today and we have scored a century, then next day when we come, we also then we again have to take that time, so as to consolidate our habit on that particular page.
What
While being
about
a judge,
patience? What about patience?
yes, ma'am. Patience, ma'am, is also required, ma'am. While being cricket, ma'am, for a batsman, for next day when he's on to the pitch, patience is also required while he gets set in that particular
Attention,
pitch.
attention to detail.
Sorry, sorry, ma'am.
Attention to detail.
I'm not getting you, ma'am.
Attention to detail.
I'm not
Is
able to
my voice
understand to detail.
okay? Any details? The details. Do you have to pay attention to small details in either of
Oh,
your?
sorry, ma'am.
your-
Understood, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Understood. Ma'am, while being in sports also, while playing cricket as well as in while being a judge, we have to be very attentive to all the details which come before us. The facts and the circumstances in a particular case from another case may vary. There are dynamic things that occur in while being in the judicial service also. While playing also, ma'am, there are a lot of changes that take place
Okay, tell me something.
according to our own playing manner.
Kartikeya, have you heard of the new bill that is being introduced to bring in changes in the way the election commissioners are to be appointed in the country?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I've heard that.
So, give your views on this. Keeping in, is it what are your views in it? Keeping the constitutional law in mind. I mean, provisions of the constitution. I mean,
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
what do
successive
you-
governments, ma'am, in our 75 years, 70, more than 70 years of democracy, successive governments, they have, when they are out of the power, talking in a practical manner, they have always questioned the working and the impartiality of the election commissioner. And there was no concrete law with regard to this. So, ma'am, in 2023, early 2023, the apex court in the case of Anup Baranwal versus Union of India, it had set a three-member committee subject to any law made by the parliament that the prime minister, the honorable chief justice of India, and the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha. And if there is no leader of opposition, then the leader of the highest party who gets that seat in the Lok Sabha, they shall be the three committee to elect the election commission. But ma'am, now the election commission bill was introduced in the parliament, and as far as this bill goes, ma'am, there is a three-member board that will be headed by the cabinet secretary. The other two will be also with the secretary of the central government, and they will select five persons who are capable of being appointed as chief election commissioner and the other election commissioners. And then these names will be forwarded to the prime minister, the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, and the third member will be the cabinet minister that is nominated by the prime minister. This is the recent.
no, very well brought out facts. My question is, why is there a controversy then? What is is Election Commission of India a constitutional body?
Yes, ma'am. Article 324 of the Indian Constitution provides for the constitution of a chief election commission with chief election commission and the other election commissioners, and it is a
Yes.
constitutional body.
So, do you have any views on the change? That's what I wanted to know.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I feel the current change, taking into account the prime minister and I feel, ma'am, they could have left the fine name, that suggestion which goes from the cabinet secretary and the other two members is fine. But taking into account my personal opinion, that prime minister, the honorable chief justice, and the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, if all these three members as decided by the Supreme Court, subject to that, though that was subject to any law made by the Parliament. I would have, if given opportunity, I would have preferred those three members.
Okay. So tell me something. Are you ever in a stressful situation?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you handle stress?
Ma'am, stress, we can do what our hobbies, ma'am, they play a very important role. If we are disciplined enough to give some time to our hobbies like playing cricket, or if that is not possible, cooking. If that is not possible, then we can go for a walk with
No,
our friends.
as you are now, you're a judge. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So how will you handle the stress there? You're caught in a very high profile case,
Yes, ma'am.
and
Ma'am,
you are to take a difficult decision.
yes,
What are the qualities that you will strengthen your mind with?
Ma'am, I will try to insulate myself from all the outside factors and the pressures that are being exerted, and I will stick to my facts and the circumstances that are in front of me, and I will try to apply my own judicial mind into those things, and
Okay.
I will not be affected by any irrelevant consideration.
Now in two or some few cases, very, very rare cases, I think you must be knowing that they've taken the call that a crime committed, a rape committed by a minor, that person will be now treated as an adult. What's your view on that?
Ma'am, these amendments were made in, they've also made in the Juvenile Justice Act of,
Yeah.
I think, ma'am, in 2015, that act was enacted. And child, maybe if he's in 14, 15, if let's say he's in 16, 17 years of stage, and if we know he has all the ingredients of committing that offense, when he wants to commit that heinous offenses like rape or gang rape, ma'am, in my opinion, I feel that is right, and justice can laws should not be allowed to be used as a tool so as to prevent other party also, ma'am, to suffer grave injustice due to certain loopholes. So, ma'am, in certain offenses, he should be tried as a adult, ma'am.
Okay. Chaliye Kartikeya, all the best. Virendra, Anuj ji, Jaiswal ji, all the best.
जी मैम.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Kartikeya,
Yes, sir.
whether fundamental rights are inclusive or exclusive?
Sir, fundamental rights, sir, the purpose of these fundamental rights are inclusive, and they tend to include all the people from disadvantaged sections of the society, the poor, irrespective of his caste and creed, and tries to put them on a same level as the other citizens of the country, so that they can lead a respectable and a good life that is capable of being called as a life that is lived by a human being. So, sir, I believe that the fundamental rights are inclusive in nature.
ओके, तो आपके कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में तो नेम्ड फंडामेंटल राइट्स ही तो बताए गए हैं, तो कैसे ये बाकी साहब की ये पॉल्यूशन फ्री एयर भी फंडामेंटल राइट है, राइट एजुकेशन भी फंडामेंटल राइट्स है, फ्री लीगल एड भी फंडामेंटल राइट्स है. टाइम टू टाइम ये सब डेवलप होता रहता है. ये किस अथॉरिटी से ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट और ऑनरेबल हाई कोर्ट इसको जो है इन लॉज इनहेंस करती रहती है?
Yes, sir. Sir, Article 21 of the Indian Constitution says that no person shall be deprived of his life as well as personal liberty except according to the procedure of law. Sir, over the period of years, there are a lot of things that a person needs, like free and fair water, so it enables him to drink.
आप आप मुझे ये समझाइए कि कैसे कोई चीज फंडामेंटल राइट नहीं है लेकिन वो दैट्स बिकम फंडामेंटल राइट। क्या है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का वो कौन सा इक्वेशन है जिसके वजह से वो फंडामेंटल एज ए फंडामेंटल राइट्स कोई भी राइट जो है अनडेम्ड हो जाती है या ट्रीट की जाती है एज ए फंडामेंटल राइट।
Sorry, sir, I am not able to recall now, sir.
मेनका गांधी केस आपने पढ़ा होगा।
Yes, sir, Menka Gandhi, sir, yes, sir, Union of India.
उसमें एक प्रिंसिपल ले डाउन हुआ था कि
Yes, sir.
कैसे कोई दूसरा राइट भी फंडामेंटल राइट बन जाता है, क्या है
Yes, sir.
कॉन्सेप्ट?
Sir, there must be a law. Sir, in those things, in that case, it was laid down that there should be a law. The law should be just and fair, and it should be in accordance with the provisions of Article 19, 14, 19, and Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. So, sir, all those laws, sir, and all the components and the aspects which satisfy these conditions, they are incorporated into one of the aspects as per Article 21 of the Indian Constitution.
ओके। और कार्तिकेय और
Yes, sir.
लॉ एंड ऑर्डर,
Yes, sir.
पब्लिक ऑर्डर और सिक्योरिटी ऑफ स्टेट,
Yes, sir.
ये सब इस तरह के रिस्ट्रिक्शंस भी तमाम फंडामेंटल राइट्स पे है। तीनों
Yes.
में डिफरेंस क्या है?
Sir, exactly, sir, I am not able to comprehend and know these terms. But sir, law, if we say that a law is, it is a set of principles, and any person uh, that doesn't act in as per these laws, so sir, law and order situation arises. So public order is any deviation from the set of principles that endangers the public peace, the surroundings that there are public order. And so security of states are it is a more serious threat, and sir, it endangers the whole security of that particular area, sir. So if you, sir, if we use a Venn diagram, the law and order is a small component, and the security of states, sir, it will be a bigger component, sir.
क्या लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का हर ब्रीच सिक्योरिटी ऑफ स्टेट को इन्फ्लुएंस करेगा?
सर हर ब्रीच सर नहीं करेगा, क्योंकि सर लॉ एंड ऑर्डर
तो वाइडर ग्रेटर कौन? तो ग्रेटर लॉ एंड ऑर्डर होगा या स्टेट की सिक्योरिटी?
सॉरी सर लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सर होगा ये सर।
ओके कार्तिकेय, इंडिपेंडेंस को लेके इंडिया में एक बड़ी फेमस स्पीच है और आज के दिन उसकी याद आती है। क्या है स्पीच वो?
सर ये श्री
किस टाइटल से उसको हम
सर श्री पंडित नेहरू, जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी ने फर्स्ट ये स्पीच सर दी थी 1947 में सर, 14 अगस्त के फ्रीडम एट मिडनाइट। सर उन्होंने कहा था कि व्हेन द होल वर्ल्ड
1947?
यस सर, 14 अगस्त के सर मिडनाइट पे कि व्हेन द होल वर्ल्ड स्लीप्स इंडिया अवेक्स।
ओके गुड। तो ये कहाँ पे ये स्पीच उन्होंने दिया था?
सर आई एम नॉट श्योर अबाउट दैट सर। सर मे बी रेड फोर्ट सर, बट आई एम नॉट श्योर अबाउट दैट।
ओके कार्तिकेय, एक थ्योरी लॉ ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में है अनजस्ट इनरिचमेंट।
यस सर।
तो व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय दिस थ्योरी?
सर
और कहाँ इंडिया में कहाँ एप्लीकेबल है?
सर चैप्टर 5 जो इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट का है, एक्ट का है, दैट डील्स विद क्वासी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स, डीलिंग विद सेक्शन 68 to 72 ऑफ द इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट, that deals with the provisions relating to unjust enrichment, It was incorporated as a concept in the case of Moses versus Mansfield, and sir, it tells us that where any person is enriched at the expense of any other party that is not as per the law, then this is known as unjust enrichment. Section 68 to 72 deals with the provisions relating to unjust
तो
enrichment.
क्या ये आपका चैप्टर जो 5 है कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट का, ये जो अनजस्ट इनरिच हो गया है, उससे कुछ रिकवरी कंपनसेशन या जिसका पैसा नुकसान हुआ उसको दिलाने की कोई व्यवस्था करता है?
Yes, sir. Section 68, sir, deals with the claim for necessaries that is supplied to a person who is incapable of contracting. And if any other person has given that necessaries, if these amount to necessaries, then he will be liable to get that amount. And sir,
माइनर के कंटेस्ट में आप ये बताइए कि उसने कुछ ले लिया, बेनिफिट्स तो ले लिए उन्हें नेसेसिटी के नाम पे, अब वो पैसा नहीं दे रहा है, तो कैसे उससे रिकवरी हो सकती है?
sir, if that amounts to necessaries that were suited to his condition in life, sir, then those things can be recovered from his property, sir.
प्रॉपर्टी ओनली या उसके इंडिविजुअल उस माइनर से भी?
नो सर, फ्रॉम दैट माइनर सर, उससे सर इंडिविजुअली सर नहीं ले सकते, उसका जो माइनर का एस्टेट है, प्रॉपर्टी है, आप उनसे सर रिकवर कर सकते।
माइनर के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट का लीगल पोजीशन क्या है?
सर माइनर्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट सर एज लेड डाउन इन मोहरी बीबी वर्सेस धर्मोदास बुश प्रीवी काउंसिल जजमेंट, सर माइनर्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज void ab initio. सर नो consequences flow when a minor enters into a contract.
अच्छा, मोहरी बीवी वर्सेस धर्मदास घोष के
Sir, kindly, sir, I'm not able to hear, sir. The voice is flickering.
हाँ, राइट। अब मैं क्वेश्चन रिपीट करूं या आपने सुना है?
सर सुन नहीं पाए थे सर।
मोहरी बीवी के केस को आप भूल जाइए।
यस सर।
ठीक, और अब बताइए कि इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट के अकॉर्डिंग माइनर के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट की क्या पोजीशन होगी विथ प्रोविजन?
सर माइनर्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट सर इट इज void in India also, sir, at the present stage. It is void ab initio, and sir, however, if he has entered into a contract with for his own beneficial for his own beneficial status, then those contracts sir can be enforced. And sir,
ओके, ये जो आप कंक्लूजन ड्रा कर रहे हैं किन प्रोविजन से ड्रा कर रहे हैं? क्या भी इनिशियो जो है माइनस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट विल बी वाइड?
sir, section 10 of the Indian Contract Act provides that what all agreements may amount to contract. So sir, in that it has been clearly mentioned that the party should be competent to contract, and section 11 tells us that who are the parties who are competent to contract. Then sir, it says that a person should be of the sound mind and should have attained the age of majority and should not be disqualified.
Okay, good. मैं यही आपसे जानना चाहता था। तो आप एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन और है, ये जो डेट होते हैं, किसी ने कर्ज ले लिया है,
यस सर,
ठीक है, उसका एप्रोप्रिएशन कैसे होगा? एक आदमी ने एक ही आदमी से कई ले लिए हैं, डेट कई ले लिए, कोई 100 रुपया, कोई 500, कोई 1000 का, डिफरेंट टाइम पे, तो उसका कैसे एप्रोप्रिएशन, ये लाभ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कैसे करती है उसका सेटलमेंट?
Sir, section 59 to 61 of the Indian Contract Act deals with the provisions relating to discharge of debt. Sections 59 provide that if the discharge of debt has been indicated, how should the debt be paid from that person? Then it should be done in that manner. And if it is not indicated, then sir, it lays down that the person.
Okay, good. कार्तिकेय, एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन मेरा ये है कि आप जुडिशियल मजिस्ट्रेट फर्स्ट क्लास के रूप में डाइस पे वर्क कर रहे हैं और एक बेल एप्लीकेशन पड़ती है जो नॉन बेलेबल है, बट यूजुअली डे टू डे में उस सेक्शन में बेल हो जाती है, लाइक 506 आईपीसी। लेकिन दूसरी तरफ से एक ह्यूज मॉब आती है 20-25 एडवोकेट्स की, और ये कहते हैं कि नहीं, आप इस बेल एप्लीकेशन को इंटरटेन न करिए और इसको एब्सेंट दिखा के एप्लीकेंट को रिजेक्ट कर दीजिए। आप क्या करेंगे उस कंडीशन में?
सर मैं उसमें सर मैं ट्राई करूंगा कि सर मैं लॉ का इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पूरी तरीके से हो, और सर नॉन बेलेबल ऑफेंसेस में भी सर बेल दिए जा सकते हैं कई सारे फैक्टर्स के कंसिडरेशन के बाद, जैसे कि टैंपरिंग।
लेकिन वकील नहीं चाहते हैं ना, वकील बहुत ज्यादा संख्या में हैं और वो ये चाहते हैं कि इसका बेल भी आप रिजेक्ट ना करें, बेल देने की बात ही छोड़ दीजिए, इसको नॉन अपीयरेंस में ही खारिज कर दीजिए। तो आपको क्या करना चाहिए?
सर प्रिंसिपल्स भी सर यही कहते हैं कि कोई भी पार्टी की सर अगर वो सफिशिएंट रीजन देता है। मैं
प्रिंसिपल की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं।
यस,
आप क्या करोगे वहां पे बीइंग ए मजिस्ट्रेट?
अगर सर वो नॉन बेलेबल केस है और उसमें अगर फैक्टर्स दिखते हैं कि बेल दिया जा सकता है, तो सर मैं अगर इंक्लाइंड रहूंगा सर बेल देने के। ये सर ऑनरेबल एपेक्स कोर्ट के भी कई सारे इसमें गाइडलाइंस हैं। हमारे अभी करंट के चीफ जस्टिस भी इस चीज पे फोर्स करते हैं, मतलब फोर्स तो नहीं सर, सही शब्द नहीं है, मतलब वो भी इंक्लाइंड है कि अगर कोई ऑफेंसिव ऐसे भी है जिसमें पार्टीज जस्ट ग्राउंड है उनका कि अगर उनको बेल मिले, तो सर बेल बेल सर मैं सर
अच्छा, उस प्लेस में एडवोकेट्स के बारे में फ्रिक्वेंट ऐसी घटनाएं होती रहती है कि उनकी बातें नहीं मानी जाती है, तो जुडिशियल ऑफिसर के चैम्बर में भी घुस जाते हैं, डायस पे तोड़ फोड़ करते हैं, और फिर एक बड़ा सा उसमें इन्वॉल्वमेंट, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर और ये सारी चीजें हो जाती है। तो उस कंडीशन में आप को करना क्या चाहिए?
सर दायित्व का सर निर्वहन अपना ड्यूटी सर करना चाहिए, और सर एक एप्लीकेशन हम सर अपने जो कोर्ट्स के सर सिक्योरिटी ऑफिसर होते हैं कि सर इस तरीके से उनको भी अपने सिक्योरिटी के लिए सर वो सर खुद भी असेस करते होंगे, और जो ऑफिसर्स हैं और उन सब कामों में सर रहते हैं, और सर एक हम भी उनको एक एप्लीकेशन अपने सिक्योरिटी के लिए या दे सकते हैं। पर सर वो जो अगर जो प्रिंसिपल्स है सर उस पर रहने की सर पूरी कोशिश करनी चाहिए।
ओके, थैंक यू कार्तिक।
वेलकम सर।
ओझा सर देखें।
हाँ अनु सर। आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही अनुज जी? आवाज नहीं आ रही, आवाज।
ओझा सर आप ले लें, 53 मिनट्स हो गए हैं।
कार्तिकेय, एक सवाल आपसे पूछा गया कि कार्तिकेय का मतलब क्या होता है, सिग्निफिकेंस क्या होता है। आप ये सवाल पूछे थोड़ा देर हो गया है, आपने जरूर सवाल के बारे में, यू हैव अगेन, सॉरी यू आर इन इंग्लिश मीडियम, यू मस्ट हैव थॉट दिस क्वेश्चन अगेन, कैन यू रिकॉल इट, कैन यू आंसर दिस?
Sir, it's a sir mythological name, and sir, Kartikeya sir being the he is the eldest son of Lord Shiva sir. Uh, and
What is the meaning of Kartikeya? Why he's being worshipped?
sir, I don't know sir that in detail.
Why in the South India Kartikeya is more prominent and worshipped, not in the North India?
I'm sorry sir, I'm not able to.
Why Ganesh is more respected than the Kartikeya?
Sir, there is a old story, sir. Ki it was asked to both of his sons ki go and travel around the whole world. And sir, in childhood, I had heard this story, sir. So Ganesh wandered around his parents, and sir, so he's more respected, and he's also known as the Vigna Karta. So sir, in our North India, sir, is worshipped more than Lord Kartik.
Your hobby is the cricket.
Yes, sir.
What do you play? What is your place in the cricket?
Sir, I bat at the top order, and sir, whenever I get opportunity to play cricket, I bat at the top order, and so I ball a bit of spin bowling, sir.
Mainly you are batsman.
Yes, sir, with part-time certain bowling, sir.
It is
Mainly
being
batsman.
said that batting technique has changed a lot over time. Why it is being said that?
Sir, basically, sir, the batting technique and the defense and the compact skills, they all remain the same. There are a lot of batsmen who can bat at a very good manner in test match with a lot of good skills defense wise, and they are also succeeding in T20 and one day cricket. So basic concept of batting has not changed, but yes sir, the tempo and the rate at which the runs are being scored in the last 4 5 years, that has gone a tremendous change sir. With England sir, it has totally changed its batting approach after the 2015 World Cup. They had lost at the group stages. After that, they had played. Now they are playing the Test cricket also, sir, at a very good run rate. And this has also been seen in the T20 and One Day cricket. Frequently, batsmen are scoring double centuries. There was first was Sachin Tendulkar in 2008 or 9, and sir, after that, a lot of Rohit Sharma has scored thrice. Shubman Gill has scored. Ishan Kishan has scored. So batting wise, sir, the skills have the basic skills remain the same. But yes, sir, today the rate of scoring and with the field restrictions coming with the two new balls that have been utilized from both the ends, two set of balls are being used now. The ball also remains new, that helps in scoring runs at a good pace. So, sir, due to this, all these factors today, the batting has changed. The speed at which the runs are being scored has changed.
You are not contradicting yourself. First, you said batting style has not been changed. Then you said the England has been changed. Then you said the Sachin Tendulkar was playing earlier this way, then he has changed. You're not contradicting yourself.
Sir, basic the skills remain the same, sir. Batting wise, there are hardly any batsman.
You are saying that since the era of the Pataudi and Gavaskar until today, the batting style has not been changed. Are you sure? You are saying this?
No, sir. The change has come in the approach, sir. The people today, batsmen, they don't survive.
What is the difference between batting style and batting approach?
Sir, batting style, sir, the defense, the stroke making, the basic technique of defense, the cover drives, the straight drive, these all remain the same. The elbow must be inclined as a that all
How
things
you
remain
can say
same.
that the Sunil Gavaskar style and Rahul Dravid style is no more? People are saying there is no defense available. Everyone is hitting. It's not true. Still, tell a single batsman who's playing like the Sunil Gavaskar Rahul Dravid right now, or you go back more earlier period. IPL is killing the cricket. It is true.
Sir, I don't believe sir, IPL is killing cricket. but there should be a fine balance between the players who are playing in international cricket as well as IPL. There are a lot of
You are Karthikeya, you are showing the disagreement of the top most cricket players who are saying that IPL need to be stopped because it is killing cricket. Are you in agreement with them or not?
Sir, lot of good talent also has come through IPL. Lot of players they wouldn't have got an.
IPL is the commercialization of the cricket. Are you agree with it?
Sir, I may agree to some extent, sir. Ki, the money has also crept in, and that is why, sir.
Who is your ideal batsman?
Sir, at the this day, sir, Virat Kohli, sir, is my ideal batsman.
All time favorite.
Sir, all time favorite has been Sir Sachin Tendulkar, and in the last 10 to 15 years, Sir Virat Kohli, I admire Virat Kohli.
Not Vivian Richards, Sunil Gavaskar.
I've heard stories about Vivian Richards and Sunil Gavaskar, but since I have not seen them play, and sir, hardly, sir, of all the old matches I am able to see. So, sir, with childhood I saw Sir Sachin Tendulkar, and later on in my.
Your topic of the research is the freedom of speech, isn't it?
Yes, sir, freedom of media with balancing it with freedom of speech and expression.
Can you compare Article 19 and 21?
Yes, sir. Article 19, sir, and 21 both are dealt under chapter part 3 of Indian Constitution, part 3. And Article 19, sir, grants the rights that are given to the citizens of the country. And
does Article 21 need to satisfy Article 19? Requirement of the Article 21 need to satisfy to the Article 19.
Sir, if anything has to be added as a component in fundamental right under Article 21, then taking into account the golden triangle formula in the Menka Gandhi case, it should satisfy with the requirements of Article 19 as well as Article 14 of Indian Constitution.
Article 14 also? Are you sure?
Sir, I'm not sure. As far as, sir, I know, sir.
There is a controversy on the recent bill of the Election Commission. Swati has also asked it. You are not able to answer the exact point. I'm again giving you the opportunity to answer it. What is the controversy of this Election Commission amendment? Why opposition is not happy?
Sir, opposition is not happy, sir, because the government has changed the last committee that consists of 3 members. The Supreme Court has designated as one of the members could be the Honorable Chief Justice of India. But this recent bill that was introduced in the Parliament, it lays down that there will be now a Prime Minister, then there will be leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, and the third member will be a cabinet minister, minister of cabinet.
Are you agree with this change?
Sir, personally, sir, of my opinion, if my opinion will be taken into consideration, I would have left it with Honorable Chief Justice of India, with the third member.
Why judiciary should intervene in the executive domain? Why? What's the need of the judiciary? They should their own work. What is need to the judicial activism here?
I believe people of the country, sir, they also believe that if there is any involvement of judiciary, then the things will be free and fair. And
how you got this conclusion? You give the last question. Offenses affecting religion. Have you any idea of this?
Yes, sir. These are dealt under, sir, section 295 to 290.
What is this? Don't tell the section. Just tell the content.
Sir, defiling the places of worship, and sir, dealing with the.
Can you correlate this with the Article 25 to 28?
Yes, sir. Article 25 and 22, 28 of Indian Constitution dealing with the freedom of religion and we see a reflection of these basic principles in section 295 to 299 of the Indian Penal Code, and they ensure that all the religious practices, the burial grounds, they should not be disturbed. If there are certain religious assemblies that are in accordance with the laws, set principles and laws, then they should not be disturbed. So, sir, these both are.
Thanks a lot. चलो, okay, thanks. Yeah, अनु सर, take it. आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही अनु सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है अनु सर, there is some problem with you. Just see your voice is not coming.
बना लेगी सुरेश
जी मैम
शॉपिंग और चाइनीज के लिए पूछना
हाँ आ रहा है
क्या बोल रहा है
ओ बोले मैं
हो जाए सर
नहीं आ रही है श्योर you start your analysis
Sir, some basic observations first, and then we delve into the specifics. My first observation is that you are dangerously quick to respond. Dangerously quick. Please play back this thing especially while you were answering Jaswal sir. When you were responding to Jaswal sir, there were occasions, at least one occasion, where you almost cut him short, even in the question. And that question was about Maneka Gandhi. Okay, so you almost cut him short. Uska question bhi aapne sir ka pura nahi hone diya. So one first point of improvement is that we have been reiterating it once again. It is for your benefit. You do not attempt the question even if it is patently manifest in your brain. Wait for it. Just wait for it. So at least 3 to 4 seconds you need to give. Nahi to dikkat ho jayega. This is going to be very harmful to you. Okay. That is because sometimes in the hurry of in the rush of answering, you will miss the import of the question, not the content of the question, the import of the question. That requires time to understand. ये जानना क्या चाह रहे हैं, पूछ तो ये रहे हैं, लेकिन जानना सुनना क्या चाह रहे हैं हमसे. Because your preparation level is very good, I will say. That is why you are in the danger of overexcitement of answering and thereby missing the import of the question, which can be a factor. Yes, you can score very well if you understand the import. I remember specifically that Jaswal sir had to throw a sequel of supplementary questions to tell you कि यही मैं पूछना चाह रहा था आपसे. हाँ, very good, मैं आपसे यही पूछना चाह रहा था. Now you understand my point. That situation should not come. That situation should not come कि आपको वो assist करते जाएं आपको बताने के लिए. तो वो पहली बार में ही बहुत ध्यान से सुनिए. आपका तैयारी अच्छा है इसलिए आपको कंटेंट में ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा. My conservative guess is that you should be able to answer 70 to 75% of the questions without breaking a sweat. That's my guess. If that happens, wonderful. Okay. Even if that doesn't happen, even if you are able to answer only 50% of the questions, I found your quality of content good. I will be a very satisfied panelist if my interview with you is over. Okay. So I'll be very satisfied with respect to your knowledge aspect. But I do not want you to miss on presentation. तो इसलिए पहली बात ये कि do not interrupt. कभी इंटरप्ट ना कीजिए, पूरा हो जाने दीजिए. ठीक है. Even at the risk of कि वो कहे कि हाँ proceed, please proceed. That's fine. लेकिन वो ठीक नहीं है कि जो है बिच्चे में काट दिया और वो पूरा बात नहीं कर पाया. That does not look good. Okay. Number 1 was this. Number 2, कभी कोई क्योंकि ये हम इसको ऐसे ले रहे हैं, we are taking it as if it is the real interview, isn't it? So it is my duty to advise you. If a panel member says, okay, thank you, then you don't say welcome. Okay, that somehow did not strike properly. If he says thank you, the best answer is thank you, sir, or thank you, ma'am, to my understanding. ठीक है, और कुछ बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है. हमको थैंकफुल ही होना है लास्ट में. हमको वेलकम नहीं, हमको एहसान नहीं किया उनके ऊपर. तो हमको थैंक यू ही से खत्म करना चाहिए. दैट इज माय ओपिनियन. आई बी करेक्टेड बाय माय रेस्पेक्टिव एक्सपीरियंस. दैट इज पॉइंट नंबर 2. Point number 3 is when you were giving the reply of, and that's a blunder which cannot be forgiven. The first aspect of the blunder is you did not. I think you should, as a matter of reverence, गणेश जी बोला जाता है, गणेश नहीं बोला जाता है. ठीक है, गणेश जी बोलते हैं हम, चाहे जो हो, वट एवर, लेकिन गणेश जी बोलिए भाई, है ना, चाहे जितना बड़ा एथीस्ट हो आप. इट इज नॉट द क्वेश्चन ऑफ योर ओन फेथ एंड योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. ऑब्वियसली इट वाज अ स्लिप ऑफ टंग फॉर यू. आई एम नॉट क्वेश्चनिंग योर फेथ, लेकिन सामने वाले को अगर फेथ है, अगर वो रिस्पेक्ट करना होता है. हम उसके हिसाब, ठीक है, ये इस तरह से. तो एक तो ये है. दूसरा सबसे बड़ा भयानक, अगर मेरा सिस्टम सही से मुझे सुनवाया, तो आपने उनका नाम विघ्न करता बताया, जबकि वो विघ्न होता है. तो वो निकल गया मुंह से. थोड़ा सा सावधान रहेंगे, है ना. वी कैन नॉट रिस्क इट. जब सब कुछ सही हो रहा है तो छोटी सी चीज के लिए क्यों. और देखो तुम्हारे चेहरे पर जो है वो फ्रस्ट्रेशन शुरू हो गया है. देखो
नहीं
हम लोग तुम्हारे
अच्छा, शौर की आवाज चली गई है. स्वाति दे दो, आप शुरू कर लो.
जस्ट गिव मी अ मोमेंट, जस्ट गिव मी अ मोमेंट.
हाँ स्वाति, आप स्टार्ट करो, तब तक आ जाएंगे. शौर आप लॉग आउट करके फिर से लॉग इन कर लो. शौर आप लॉग आउट करके फिर लॉग इन कर लो. हाँ, ये स्वाति स्टार्ट.
I agree 100% with the points told by Shaurya actually, कि आप ना इतने वेल प्रिपेयर्ड हैं, आपका कंटेंट इतना आप कॉन्फिडेंट हैं उसके, कि आप बहुत फास्ट आंसर करते हो. विदाउट the words used by Shaurya, actually I can't better those words. The word he used was import. उसकी आप जो बारीकी है ना, वो नहीं ले रहे हो कि हम एग्जैक्टली किस पॉइंट, क्योंकि आपको आता है तो आप पहुंच तो जाओगे उस पे, लेकिन आपको इंटरव्यू पे सबसे पहले उस जगह पहुंचना है जो आंसर होना है. और आपके नाम में इतनी, मतलब आपको अपने नाम के ऊपर थोड़ा सा प्रिपेयर करना पड़ेगा. यू कांट से आई डोंट नो मोर देन कार्तिकेय बीइंग सन ऑफ शिव जी. ठीक है. और दूसरा जो उन्होंने बोला, सच बात है. इस पे देखिए, आपको आधे घंटे से ज्यादा नहीं लगेगा, लेकिन पढ़ लीजिए. और सच बात है, गणेश जी ही, क्योंकि आपने बोला ना गणेश, सबके कान में लगा. जब उसने बोला तो मैं भी आपको यही बात बोलने वाली थी कि अगर बोल ही रहे हो तो गणेश जी बोल दो, और अंग्रेजी बोल रहे हो तो लॉर्ड गणेश बोल दो, अगर जी नहीं बोलना है तो. ठीक है. और सच बता रही हूँ, आपके नाम पे क्वेश्चन आने की संभावना है, क्योंकि स्पेशली आपके कंटेंट पे आप स्ट्रांग हो. Your way of answering is also fine. Only thing is you have to wait for the actual कि पूछा क्या जा रहा है. और मेरा सजेशन आपको है, बिकॉज आपका रिसर्च का जो टॉपिक है उसको लेके आपने इलेक्शन कमीशन पे जो अभी बिल आया है अमेंडमेंट, उस पे दिल्ली सर्विसेज का जो अभी बिल आया है उस पे, जहां भी फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन कहीं भी आ रहा है, आपको वो पॉइंट्स प्रिपेयर करने ही पड़ेंगे. एंड आई एम नॉट सेइंग यू आर नॉट प्रिपेयर्ड. Prepare them, just brush it up once more, nothing more than that. Everything else fine, and best wishes. अच्छा कीजिए और धैर्य से सुनिए कि क्या है पॉइंट. Other than that, very good.
Thank you.
Yes sir.
Sir, I should be back online now, sir.
Yeah.
Okay sir. So another important aspect about the length of your answer, they are too lengthy sometimes. Too lengthy.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है, एक बीच का स्ट्राइक कीजिए बैलेंस, कि जो है हैव आई सफिशिएंटली आंसर्ड दिस, स्टॉप देयर. देयर इज नो कंप्लीट आंसर. हैव आई एडिक्वेटली आंसर इट, बेटर टू स्टॉप देयर. फिर ऐसे वैसे इधर उधर की कुछ बात ही नहीं करना है. ठीक है, इलेबोरेट ना करिए जब तक कहा ना जाए. कहा जाए तो फिर उसका सेकंड आंसर हो जाएगा. बड़ी अच्छी, दैट वेरी गुड. ओके, नेक्स्ट इज, हाँ वो बात दैट इज कॉमन. फॉर एग्जाम्पल माई क्वेश्चन रिगार्डिंग योर हॉबीज वाज हाउ स्पोर्ट्स और कुकिंग हैज हेल्प्ड यू इन रिफाइनिंग योर कैरेक्टर एज अ पर्सन. दैट वाज द क्वेश्चन, एंड व्हिच यू डिड नॉट आंसर अंटिल द लास्ट 2 लाइन्स. इधर बोला उधर बोला, लास्ट में बोला कि ये मुझे माइंड फ्रेश करता है, ये करता है. तो एंड दैट इज नॉट ऑल्सो द आंसर टू द क्वेश्चन. रिफाइनिंग द कैरेक्टर इज अ मच बिगर थिंग देन रिफ्रेशिंग द माइंड. और अच्छा करने में कैरेक्टर का रिफाइनमेंट अलग है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, स्पोर्ट्स टेल्स यू टू लूज एंड स्टिल बी हैप्पी दैट यू ट्राइड वेल. फॉर स्टार्टर्स, स्पोर्ट्स टेल्स यू हाउ टू बी अ टीम मैन, जिससे
Yes,
कि
sir.
जुड़ा हुआ दूसरा मेरा आपके प्रति ऑब्जर्वेशन है, सर हैड आस्क्ड अ वेरी क्रूशियल क्वेश्चन, रिस्पेक्टेड ओझा सर हैड आस्क्ड कि क्रिकेट में आप करते क्या है, व्हाट डू यू डू इन क्रिकेट? देन यू सेड कि मैं बैटिंग करता हूं और पार्ट टाइम बॉलिंग भी कर लेता हूं. देन सर posed another question and he asked you batting, perhaps he asked or you yourself volunteered that when I bat, then I bat in the top order, something like that you said.
Yes, sir. Top order batsman.
Top order. You don't decide that. That's what I am saying. You don't decide. A batsman doesn't decide where he will bat, isn't
Yes,
it?
sir.
It is the
Yes, sir.
team's requirement and the captain that decides. So say it in a different कि mostly the team gives me the responsibility of opening the innings. Isn't it a better statement to
Yes,
say?
sir. Yes, sir. It's a
That's a
better.
better way to put it. That is one. Then the next point is सबरीमाला केस. आई डोंट सी, सब जोड़ जाड़ के ना जो पैनलिस्ट और हम लोगों के कॉमन जो हम लोग हैं, सिटीजन्स हैं, हाउ मेनी केसेस वुड देयर बी to your count? How many cases would there be which are considered landmark and talk of the town? Every nook and corner of every street, every nooker, you will find people talking about it. 50? And
Yes,
for a
sir,
student
very
of
good.
law who has put in 5, 6, 7 years into collectively into this, I don't think 50 is a big number. So my advice is you should refresh your facts about those landmark cases which have been very controversial, because ma'am gave you pointers again and again कि क्या दिक्कत है इसमें, क्या दिक्कत है, women होना चाहिए, women. It is not about banning the entry of women. Sabrimala case is not at all about banning the entry of women as a class. It is about the entry of women of a particular age group.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so that's why there is no substitute to studying the case. You cannot logically arrive at a conclusion where facts are necessary. Facts cannot emanate from logic, isn't it? तो पढ़ लेना अच्छा, कुछ ही होंगे 15-20
Yes,
केस लिख लेंगे. I am very sure. So
Sure, sir.
वो जरूरी है. Then I would say in one particular answer it was about Jaiswal sir's question and it was about Article 21. And then after that question you said, sir, I am not sure. हाँ, वो नहीं, वो था कि भाषण कहाँ दिए थे वो पंडित जी, उन्होंने एड्रेस कहाँ किया था, वो जो लैंडमार्क स्पीच उनका है वो
Yes,
कहाँ
sir.
पर एड्रेस हुआ था. देन यू फर्स्ट यू सेड कि सर आई एम नॉट श्योर अबाउट द वेन्यू, एंड देन यू सेड कि बट आई थिंक इट वाज रेड फोर्ट. I would advise you not to, once you say I'm not sure, it's there, it's done. Don't hazard a guess then. Okay, नहीं श्योर है तो नहीं है भाई, मैटर खत्म, ठीक है, उसको छोड़ देने का. उसके बाद मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि are you sure about this thing, because it seems important actually. Bar bench relationship is getting worse. Is it a good answer to give? I think Anuj sir would be a better guide for you on this. You should discuss with Anuj sir. Howsoever the logistics work out, if sir is able to speak to you, then sir will guide you whether it is a good answer or not. I leave to sir's wisdom. Then there is, sir asked you on the question of this thing, what are the changes you see, how the batting practice is evolving, how the game format is evolving through the years, and then sir said, are you not contradicting yourself? Okay, and apparently the best line to, I do not, what is the there cannot be a right or wrong answer to this. If you are contradicting, then you say I think yes sir, मुझसे थोड़ा कहने में भूल, whatever be the case. It is better to start the answer with the sentence that, sir, my apologies if my choice of words conveyed this, if I happen to convey this, if I happen to convey a contradiction, sir, but my sense of understanding is this. Always say this. अगर contradicting उनको लगा है तो फिर contradict किया होगा, तभी उनको लगा, कुछ नहीं बोल रहे होंगे. Understand? So first acknowledge that, sir, your observation is correct. Bhai, I may have conveyed it for the lack of proper words. What I meant to say is this.
Yes.
Always be very respectful and then correct yourself. फिर सर ने पूछा कि not Viv Richards. Sir asked a specific question, who is your favorite batsman or cricketer, as the case may be? Ideal. Who is your idol cricketer or batsman? That is what he said. Okay. You zeroed into one. And that was Virat Kohli in the recent times and Sachin Tendulkar all time.
Yes.
Now sir asked again another question, what about Viv Richards and Sunil Gavaskar? But the question, what was the question? Who is your idol? तो idol तो एक ही बनाओगे ना?
Yes, sir.
बोल दिया तुमने. फिर उसमें मैंने कहानी सुना है उनका, से कुछ नहीं। सर ऑफ कोर्स आई हार्बर इमेंस रेस्पेक्ट अबाउट दीज लेजेंड्स, हाउएवर व्हेन इट कम्स टू जीरोइंग डाउन टू वन पर्सन, देन माय फेवरेट इज सचिन तेंदुलकर। क्वेश्चन मिस ही मत करो, डोंट मिस द क्वेश्चन, वो तो पहले ही पूछा जा चुका, सो डोंट वरी अबाउट दिस। सेकंड इज, हाँ, दिस वन रिक्वायर्स योर थॉट, you think about it. It was about that the amendment of election commission thing that was there. That was there.
Yes, sir.
Advisory board. Okay, that advisory committee. Okay. Sir specifically asked you what is your opinion on this, and you are at liberty. We will go into the merits of that opinion also. Lekin primarily you are at liberty to have your own opinion. That's absolutely fine. It may turn out to be wrong or right vis-a-vis the larger wisdom. उस पर मैं नहीं कह रहा हूं, मैं ये कह रहा हूं फिर आप ये क्यों बोल रहे हैं कि लोगों को, people of the country would think कि जुडिशरी का कोई होगा तो बड़ा अच्छा रहेगा. Nobody is asking you the opinion of the people. And what authority do you have? Have you done a survey on this? Have you done a questionnaire survey on this? What people are thinking? How do you say that people have more faith on judiciary than legislature? That will be a dangerous position to take, in my opinion. So don't go there. If it is your opinion, you try to justify your opinion on the basis of rational arguments. And if the argument of the panel turns out to be heavier than your argument, then very respectfully and gracefully accept it. Sir, I believe I need to put more thought into it. Now I stand educated. I need to put more thought into it. ये कहना ज्यादा बेटर है. फिर देखिए कैसे गलती होता है. लास्ट एक पॉइंट और है, आर्टिकल 19 वर्सेस आर्टिकल 21. ओझा सर had asked, if I'm right, हाँ, ओझा सर had asked about, please compare, that were the words, if I heard correctly. Please compare article 19 and 21, and you started the first line with they are given in part 3 of this constitution, ऐसा करके इसे शुरू किया. ठीक है, टू द पॉइंट आप आए नहीं. जब आप टू द पॉइंट शुरू किए कि आर्टिकल 19 ये होता है और आर्टिकल 20 जैसे बोलना शुरू किया 21, तब तक दूसरा क्वेश्चन उन्होंने दाग दिया. Replay it and see. That is what happened. So you ate up your time to reply in the first superfluous line.
Yes.
क्योंकि हम देखो भाई, तुम्हारा why we are advising on such surgical and precise levels, because fundamentally you have done your hard work, you are good at that. So ये precision points पे आपको काम करना चाहिए, क्योंकि आपका टाइम बच रहा है. Your homework is okay, so why not invest yourself here? तो ये कुछ मेरे points हैं. Overall I will rate you as a very good candidate to be selected, and I will ask you to revise that particular answer, that specific answer, teacher versus judges and collector and this and that. मैं ऐसा रेस्पेक्टफुली मानता हूं कि राष्ट्र निर्माण का जो रास्ता है वो कलेक्ट्रेट और न्यायालय से नहीं, पाठशाला से गुजरता है.
Yes, sir.
मैं कभी भी ये नहीं, मुझसे एक एज ए सिटीजन मैं पता नहीं क्यों मैं नहीं कर पाता हूँ टीचर से ऊपर किसी की रेटिंग. दैट इज द बेस्ट करियर वन कैन हैव इन ह्यूमन लाइफ. That's my take on this, but that's just me. You please prepare your own thought, but support logic, and logic is such which cannot be overturned easily. ठीक है. Otherwise, my best wishes to you. You are good. You are good at you know the content. That's very well.
Thank you, sir.
Kartikeya, I will say your whole personality has two parts. One is the factual, second is analytical. I have no issue with your factual personality, but your analytical personality need to be improved. Second, whenever the conversation goes a long way, you need to hold on that. And I have again the complaint, we have all the aspirants with you, you are not reading newspaper. I do not know who has taught you all guys who are appearing for the judicial examinations that you need only to learn law or know the law. I do not know from where you are getting this information. I do not know. It's a wrong information. It's incorrect information. At least if you are not able to read the complete newspaper, the news related with the law have to be mastered by you. On the issue of the election commission, twice you got the full toss, you missed it. Swati has given, me also has given. You missed it. Only because you not read the newspaper. There are 3 ex-election commissioner has analyzed in great detail, chief election commissioner in great detail. What is flaw, what is not a flaw. Judiciary should intervene in the work of the executive or not? It's a very good question. It need to be asked. You missed it. And cricket, you have done the disaster. It is your hobby, the cricket. You have not prepared anything. I'm telling you, your hobby, your name, your background has to be prepared. As Shore told in the first of the interaction, that it is your own question paper supplied to the examiner. I am in disagreement with the Shore today that you can sail through. If your interview go on the factual aspect, you can sail through. If you go to the analytical part, you have the lot problem. Second, what you answer, you are not sure. I asked about the cricket. You started naming the name of the players. Where was the requirement? I give a lot of full toss in the cricket. First, I said, who's your ideal? You fix anyone. Virat Kohli, Mahendra Singh, no issue. When I'm asking about this, Vivian Richards, Sunil Gavaskar, you got an opportunity to speak on them. You speak on them. Don't say they are my ideal. Well, sir, it is my ideal. They are very respectable player. The Virat Kohli, Sachin Tendulkar themselves said, I learned a lot from the Vivian Richards and Sunil Gavaskar. You try to speak on that. You show your knowledge and depth of the cricket at that time. Why you miss that? Examiner, if he using any lead to you, he wants you to speak. The main purpose is to give you a opportunity to speak. Not knowing a Kartikeya, again blunder. It is your name. Why not preparing the name? The 3-4 questions are very vital. आप Google करो, आप मिल जाएगा. Why miss this? You are very quick. Your knowledge base is very strong as far as the law is concerned. You have answered beautifully about the offenses related to religion. When I said compare with the Article 25-28, you started struggling. Now you can say that Article 25-28 is further safeguarding. The one simple line will give him the 2 marks extra. Sir, the narration in the Constitution, IPC, is further safeguarding by Article 25 and 28. When any matter goes to the court, both need to be read together. That's true also. Suppose the destruction of any religious monuments goes to the court, who will argue? He will argue with the 25-28. It's bound to happen. As a judge, how to strengthen yourself? You need to prepare this. Sabrimala case, again Swati asked, there's one more contradiction. You said my background is a ruler. They said my father is in the Air Force. You just remember, just you play this again, you will say this.
Yes, sir.
Assign more values to teacher than judge. It's not a good answer. How you can say the teacher has the less value than the judge? Teacher has the utmost value. Teacher is equivalent to the God, is said by so many persons or literature and the ancient history or philosophy. You cannot do this. No. जो आपका judge होगा ना, he will mind it. Yeah, how you can say teacher has the less value? Today, whatsoever we are, me, you, Anu sir, Shor, Swati, whosoever, only because of the teacher. Hobby को आप improve करो.
Yes, sir.
Significance of the name आप इसको improve करो.
Yes, sir.
शंकर के बच्चों में क्या खास बात थी, आप improve करो. ये बहुत जरूरी है. You have said I found Prayagraj, very good answer. Don't say Allahabad, because Allahabad is no longer a name there, and if any person will take offense there, unnecessarily you are posing a question. You prepare more about your research issue. You read the page number 122 and 135 of DD Basu. You find some of the answer of the 2119. इलेक्शन कमीशन को आप जरूर पढ़ो, फिर से आप पढ़ो. नेहरू जी की स्पीच कहाँ हुई? अगेन ब्लंडर. हाउ यू कैन से दैट? I am not aware where Nehruji has given the speech. Everyone knows that on the 15th August, Prime Minister go to Lal Killa, and 26 January, President go to the Rajpath. Batting concept not changed. How you can say this? It has been changed tremendously. आज कोई 3 दिन खेल सकता है क्या? If you see the 300 of the Viren Sehwag and you see 200 of the Sunil Gavaskar, you see the difference. Now the batsman has no patience for 2-3 days. The defense technique has changed a lot. It is a lot allegation on the IPL and the 2020 cricket that they are killing the cricket. Cricket is not the entertainment. It's not commercialization. It is good. It is giving money to the cricketers, but actual content of the cricket is the patience, the technique. It has been changed. विघ्नहर्ता वाला हमने भी किया था नोटिस, वो आप थोड़ा ध्यान रखिए, आपका उसमें आपको कोई मिस्टेक नहीं है, वो आपका मिस हो जाता है. लेंथ ऑफ आंसरिंग को आप कंट्रोल करें. आप टॉप ऑर्डर बैट्समैन भैया आप बोलते हैं आई एम ओपनर, आई एम 1 डाउन, ये भी आंसर आपका ठीक नहीं था. There is no, if your hobby is the cricket, your place is fixed. You see worldwide, place is fixed. Now, if you compare the 60s, 70s, 80s right now, 60s, 70s, 80s में place change ही नहीं होता था. आजकल क्या हो गया? place, आप देखिए ना, वीरेंद्र सहवाग का place change हुआ है, सचिन तेंदुलकर का change हुआ है, धोनी का लगातार change होता रहा है. But as a classical cricketer, you can answer my place. You say I'm opener, I'm first down, I'm second down. You see, Vivian Richards, whole life he batted on one place. You see a number of examples I can give. I think it's enough for me. If your interview go on the factual aspect, you have no problem. You will sail through. Your knowledge of law is very good. You just improve these things.
Yes,
आपका 2 दिन शायद बाद इंटरव्यू है. आप जस्ट यू रीड. हम फिर रिपीट करेंगे. आपके इंटरव्यू में करंट अफेयर्स का सवाल आएगा ही आएगा. वो आना ही आना है. 4-5 लोग बैठते हैं, सबको लॉ नहीं आता है. लॉ के एक्सपर्ट एक ही दी तो एक दो जनरल भी होते हैं. और जो लॉ के एक्सपर्ट है दे विल आल्सो आस्क ना, ये इलेक्शन कमीशन, ये कहते हैं आईपीसी, सीआरपीसी, फॉरेस्ट अमेंडमेंट, सब लॉ का ही है ना, इसमें करंट अफेयर्स है क्या? And if you read the newspaper, you got the new horizon. What's what the question I have asked? All questions were in the news. I think best of luck, and I wish you will do well. Your mannerism is well. You just control your nervousness. We speak. We purposely take a long interview because that I make endurance. Your growth is also good. I think there is no problem. Just to improve a bit. Thanks a lot. Yes, next कौन है? Call the next one. Who's next one?
ओझा जी 1 मिनट. कार्तिकेय.
यस सर.
देखो, मैं जानता हूं कि आपकी तैयारी बहुत अच्छी है, और जैसा कि सर ने बताया कि फैक्ट पे तो आप नहीं फंस रहे हैं, ठीक है. बस वो जो शौर्य सर ने कहा वो हरी थोड़ा कम करो. और ये भी है कि पूरे इंटरव्यू तुम्हारे देने के दरमियान किसी को कोई ये डाउट नहीं था कि ये लड़का सेलेक्ट नहीं हुआ इंटरव्यू के बेसिस पे. हम रिटन का मार्क्स नहीं जानते हैं, लेकिन हम ये चाहते हैं कि आप और अच्छा करें, है ना. तो आप वो जो हरीनेस है उसको थोड़ा कम करो, और उसको बहुत लेंथ पे मत ले जाओ. टू द पॉइंट बताओ, फिर आपको आंसर निकलेगा. और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन यदि आप बता रहे हो तो जो क्वेश्चन इंक्लूसिवनेस का था वो मस्ट तैयार करो. मेनका गांधी केस को एक बार पढ़ो अपने किसी भी बुक्स में, उसका जो जजमेंट का पार्ट है पढ़ लो, ठीक है ना. तो ये 2-4 चीजें बहुत जरूरी है जिनको आप देखे रहिए, ठीक है. ओके, ऑल द बेस्ट.
थैंक यू सर.
चलो कम दिशा.
सर अनुज सर कुछ बोलना चाह रहे थे, लेकिन शायद अभी भी सर की आवाज नहीं आ पा रही. आई थिंक सर
अनु सर आप स्टार्ट करो विद दिशा, ठीक है. स्टार्ट.
आवाज नहीं आ रही सर की अभी भी.
हाँ, आवाज आ रही है आपको? अनुज जी आप बोलिए. आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है अनुज जी, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही. आप क्या करो, आप चेक करो जरा से. आप लाइब्रेरी में हो ना अनुज जी? आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है.
सर अभी तो म्यूटेड है सर, अभी दिख रहा है कि म्यूटेड है वो सर.
हाँ, आप अनम्यूट करो. अनुज जी आप अनम्यूट करो अपने को.
हाँ, अब अनम्यूट हुए और अभी नहीं आ रही है सर.
आवाज नहीं आ रही है.
अनुज जी आप अपना वॉल्यूम देखिए, कहीं वो तो लो नहीं है, क्योंकि आप अनम्यूट में भी सुनाई नहीं दे रहे, पर देखने में कोई हो नहीं रहा है.
रीज्वाइन करने देते हैं.
स्वाति आपका पूरा स्टार्ट.
अच्छा,
Good evening, ma'am.
गुड इवनिंग. दिशा.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Disha.
Can you introduce yourself? Please introduce.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. My name is Disha Umre, and I belong to Prayagraj. I've done my schooling from St. Anthony's Convent Girls Inter College. Thereafter, I pursued BA LLB honors from University of Allahabad and passed out in 2019. Thereafter, I pursued LLM from the same university and passed out in 2021. Meanwhile, I qualified the UGC NET JRF exam, and for 1 year, I also worked as a law clerk trainee in the High Court of Judicature at Allahabad, and for after that for 2 or 3 months I worked as an assistant professor in the Shambhunath Institute of Law, and thereafter in 2022 I enrolled as a PhD scholar in Banaras Hindu University, and right now I'm pursuing PhD.
Okay. So you want to now actually become a judge?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the same question, why do you want to become a judge rather than go follow in the academia field?
Yes, ma'am. Academia field is there, but it is as an option B for me. Since there's very uncertainty in getting into that profession, becoming an assistant professor in a government university, in a state government or in a central university, it is a challenge and it is very uncertain since seats are very confined, and this competitive exam of civil judge is certain, and seats are also comparatively high as compared to that profession. That's why, and this vacancy also came this time, so I qualified, and now I prefer being a civil judge.
So you'll change your field, and or you always wanted to be a judge?
During my law graduation, I did not choose any field. I was giving myself time. When I passed out in 2029, there was no vacancy of UP judiciary. So I see this field also as my career. But recently this vacancies come, and I changed my mind, and I started preparing for this, and I enjoyed that.
Okay. So I was seeing your file. You say that you have no hobbies.
Yes, ma'am. I don't have so deep interest to call them as my hobby. I have certain shallow interests, but I don't have any deep interests.
So don't you believe in the adage that, haven't you heard, all work and no play makes Jill a dull girl?
No, ma'am, I'm not that type of girl of all-time work or workaholic. I always enjoying going outside, hanging out with friends, but that can't be count as a hobby. So I have written that I don't have a hobby.
So you're very focused in your career progression to be
Focused. Yes, ma'am. I want my career to be strong. So for a bit, I am focused.
So tell me, what are your thoughts on Uniform Civil Code?
Uniform Civil Code. Yes, ma'am. Since Uniform Civil Code has been enshrined in Article 44 of the Constitution of India, but it has not yet been drafted or passed because of the differences of opinion from the different parts of the country. And as of my opinion, I think that the country is still not ready for a uniform civil code, since we, as a secular country, we are inclusive of different religions in our country. Various religions found their home in our country, and all the religions have their own customs, tradition, practices, and I don't. In my opinion, this is not the right time to come up with a uniform civil code that will regulate all the religion and cultural minorities uniformly in the country.
Okay, so when you say that we have to it's not the time to bring it and the country is not ready for it, so aren't we a secular country? So what is the role of religion? where government is concerned. I mean, why should a uniform civil code in the judiciary not be part of it? I mean, are we not secular? Does the
Ma'am,
constitution say we are
yes,
secular
ma'am.
or no?
Yes, ma'am, India is a secular country, and
No.
this is the
How do we know it's secular?
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, this is the unique quality of Indian secularism that differentiates it from Western secularism, that draws a wall between the religion and the state. However, in India, Indian secularism, we do not draw a wall between the religion and the state. We are secular in the way that the government is not inclined to a particular religion, but it will support all the religions equally. This is our Indian secularism.
So aren't you
So,
contradicting when you say that it will be securing all religions equally, and then you say also that there should not be a uniform civil code?
from securing all religions equally, can include a uniform civil code, but it also means that securing religions according to the religions themselves. Selves. Government respects every religion equally. So, in my opinion, as you asked for my opinion, in my opinion, the government should give time to for the citizens to be ready that a uniform law on these matters can come up in future.
How will the government know that the citizens are now ready?
Rights will stop, the opposition will stop. Uh, in these ways, government will know that now the country is ready for the uniform civil code.
What my question to you later was, how do we know that we are a secular nation? How do you know that we are secular? Is secularism enshrined anywhere?
Yes, yes, ma'am. The word secularism has been provided in the preamble of the Constitution itself, and from Articles 25 to 28 also gives freedom of religion. All these things, from all these things we can conclude that India is a secular state.
What does secular mean? Being a secular state, what does it mean? What does it connote?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I not believe in any religion? Does a state
No,
have
ma'am.
anything to say about my
No.
religion? Can it have any role to play for the citizens' religion? Can it force
Yes.
us? Huh.
No, ma'am. That's what Article 25 gives every person the right to freedom of religion, like freedom to profess, freedom to propagate, and freedom to practice a religion of one's own choice. So it is a matter of personal choice. You can follow any religion, and state is not an authority to intervene into that. That's why we are a secular state.
Chalo. You say you want to be a judge, right? So, and you're talking of that a lot of freedom is given to us. So, where are these freedom, the fundamental rights in the Constitution? What are the fundamental rights? How many rights are fundamentally?
Yes, ma'am. There are various rights enshrined in the Part 3rd of the Constitution. I cannot recall the exact number of the rights, but there are various rights which have been given as the fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are such rights that are so fundamental for the being of a human, so that cannot even be snatched by the state. So these rights have been enshrined as the fundamental rights under the Part 3rd of the Constitution, like right to life and personal liberty, right to equality, right to freedom of religion, right against untouchability, and various other rights, right to constitutional remedies. All these constitute the Part 3rd of the Constitution. That is the fundamental rights.
And what are writs?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, writs are basically a course of action by which a person whose fundamental rights has been infringed by the state to uh, to enforce those rights. He can move to the court towards the he can move to the court for enforcement his for the enforcement of his fundamental right. There are 5 kinds of writs: habeas corpus, certiorari, prohibition, quo warranto, and ma'am, one I'm
Prohibition.
yes, ma'am.
What is prohibition?
Yes, ma'am. The writ of prohibition says that the superior court has the power to stop the proceedings of the inferior court. In case the inferior court is abusing its power or going beyond its powers, so the superior court may stop the proceedings of the inferior court.
Can you give an example? Can you explain it with an example?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Yes,
Take your time if you want.
yeah. Yes, ma'am. I will take a moment.
It's okay.
Ma'am, ma'am, as far as I can construct, if the court of a district of a session court is going beyond its power of sentencing, then the High Court may stop the proceedings and say on the basis of that you are going beyond your powers.
Hello. Namaskar.
Tell me, do you know about the data protection bill?
Yes, ma'am, I've read a bit of data protection bill. Ma'am, it has been introduced. Yes, ma'am.
Tell me.
It has been introduced in pursuance of right to privacy that personal data should not be made public. Every citizen has the right to privacy. But there are certain drawbacks of the act also, like the legitimate uses. The term legitimate uses has been used in that act, that for legitimate uses, even the consent of the data principal. Data principal is basically the person whose data is being processed by the data fiduciaries. So, for legitimate uses without the consent of the data principal, also the data might be processed. And this definition of legitimate uses has been given under Section 7 of the Act, where various things are included in legitimate uses that are very wide in nature. So,
what are the qualities that you think are most important in a judge, and which are the qualities that you have that you think will help you make a fair judge?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, first of all, the qualities of judges. First, I think a judge should never be judgmental. He should never be judgmental. He cannot judge on vague things. And second, he should be very unbiased. He should not be inclined to a party prima facie, and he should always stick to the evidences that comes before him. And yes, ma'am, these are the 3 basic qualities that a judge should have. And my qualities, ma'am, first of all, the quality that I have, that I try to give 100% for whatever is given to me. I always try to do justice to my job. So this is one of the qualities that would help me as being a good judge.
Anything else?
Yes, ma'am.
You give 100% to any job that you will require for being a good teacher also. If you are not,
Ma'am, that would be,
so
ma'am,
what?
that would be required. Ma'am, that would be good for any job. Not being a civil judge. This quality I could think of, which is good.
So if you are, you've been selected and you are appointed, so you know all the laws of the land.
No, ma'am.
You don't know. Then how will
No,
you
ma'am.
render justice?
Ma'am, I read them. Whatever comes to me, whatever topic comes to me, I'll do my homework, then come to the dice. That's my 100%.
Okay. So tell me something. You said uniform civil code is not its time has not come for this country, right? And what about the oral talaq? Do we have oral talaq?
Ma'am, the oral triple talaq has been held to be unconstitutional in the case of uh, Shaira Bano versus ma'am. Actually, I cannot recall the case name.
What is your view on that?
But yes, ma'am. Ma'am, triple talaq. Ma'am, may I take a moment?
Yeah, please. Should I repeat my question?
No, ma'am, I got your question.
Relax, don't be
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, my take on this that uh, there was never a time where triple talaq could be justified. Where a gender is given an inferior position or a superior position over the other, could be no such time. Might be in past there could be situation where this was justified, but as far as I could think of, there could be no time where the triple talaq would be justified. This situation came, and the Honorable Supreme Court got the chance for its progressive judgment. So it gave on triple talaq, on oral talaq, and I stand by it.
Okay, tell me something. Do you know that Supreme Court has ordered a survey on the Gyan Vyapi mosque?
Yes, ma'am.
Why did it do so?
Ma'am, there's a controversy that that mosque was built by Aurangzeb in the year 1669 after demolishing the old Vishveshwara temple. So this is the allegation, and this is the fact also that during that time the Mughal emperor.
It's not a fact. It can't.
Ma'am, it is a. Ma'am, it is a fact that during that time the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb was demolishing temples, and he was building mosques on that. But
my question is very limited. Why has Supreme Court, in its wisdom, the Honorable Supreme Court thought there should be a survey? Whom have they asked the survey to conduct the survey?
Ma'am, Archaeological Survey of India has been ordered to do a survey. And ma'am, for a clearer picture of that place, whether there was a mosque or was a temple.
Okay.
This was asked.
All the best, Sisha. That's.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
जसवाल जी, जसवाल जी।
जी, वजह सर मैं बस कुछ मैं थोड़ा सा वो चाहूंगा, वही 5 मिनट इनसे वो कर लेता हूँ। दिशा।
यस सर, गुड इवनिंग सर।
आप गुड इवनिंग, आप रिलैक्स हैं?
यस सर।
ओके। दिशा, ये डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ स्टेयर डिसाइसिस,
यस सर,
सुना है?
यस सर।
क्या है ये?
The doctrine of stare decisis has been mentioned under Article 141 of Constitution of India, and it says that the the judgments and orders of the Supreme Court is binding on all the inferior courts,
दिशा
on all
दिशा
the courts of the
दिशा
country. Yes, ma'am.
दिशा
Yes, sir.
आर्टिकल 41 में जो प्रोविजन आप
140.
बता रही
Yes,
हैं,
sir.
वन
Yes,
वन
sir.
फोर्टी वन में जो प्रोविजन आप बता रही हैं वो नहीं होता तो क्या डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ स्टेट डिसाइसिस की थ्योरी नहीं एग्जिस्ट कर रही होती?
सर वो हमेशा से एग्जिस्ट कर रही थी. इट वाज ऑलवेज एग्जिस्टिंग, बट आफ्टर दिस ड्राफ्टिंग
क्या
ऑफ
है
कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन.
ये है क्या डॉक्ट्रिन क्या है?
Sir, the
हाँ,
doctrine, yes, sir. So the doctrine is that the judgments and orders of the superior court should have a binding value on the inferior courts of the state. This is basically the doctrine is.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट का के जजमेंट डिलीवर होता है और उसमें कुछ ऐसा पार्ट है जिसको आर्बिटर डिक्टा
Yes, sir.
माना जा रहा है, तो क्या तो इंफीरियर कोर्ट पे वो बाइंडिंग होगा?
So the obiter dicta part is not binding. The ratio decidendi part of the judgment is binding.
ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने किसी केस में कहा कि उसकी आर्बिटर डिक्टा भी नीचे वालों के लिए जो है तो बाइंडिंग नेचर की है.
Sir, I will read on this.
ओके. दिशा,
Yes, sir.
यूसेज और कस्टम क्या ये दोनों सेम थिंग है या दोनों में डिफरेंस है?
So both are different things. So usage after many years become customs. After regular use becomes custom. So custom has certain characteristics that it should be followed for time immemorial. It should be indisputable and
ओके.
sir,
दिशा,
yes, sir.
दिशा, कस्टम के ग्राउंड पे, कस्टम के बेसिस पे नेशंस के बीच में भी मैटर डिस्प्यूट को सॉल्व किया जा सकता है?
सर किसके बीच में डिस्प्यूट?
नेशंस के बीच में, डिफरेंट डिफरेंट स्टेट्स के बीच में, कंट्रीज के बीच में.
यस सर.
कस्टम
Yes,
के
sir.
बेसिस पे केस डिसाइड किया जा सकता है?
Yes, sir. It is a established principle of public international law that custom plays a good value in absence of any express treaty or international law. Then custom will have a binding value, and disputes can be solved on the basis of customs also.
हाँ, अगेन
सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है.
हाँ, वो कॉल लेकर आ रहा, वो डिस्टर्ब कर रहा. हाँ, अब कंटिन्यू करिए अपने आंसर.
Yes, sir. So my answer was that yes, in absence of express treaty or express provision of international law, custom plays a very important role, and custom can decide the dispute between two nations. One of the case I could remember is right of passage between India versus Portugal. So in this case, custom was followed, and I cannot remember the exact
ओके,
facts of the case.
आप दिशा दिशा अभी आगे बढ़ते हैं. आप ये बताइए, एको एट बोनो कुछ मैगजीन इस तरह का है?
Yes, sir.
कहाँ है, किस फील्ड में है, किस लॉ में है?
So may I take a moment?
ओके, यू मे.
Sir, I will read on this. Sir, I'm unable to recall right now.
Article 38(2) of the चार्टर, अभी कुछ याद आया आपको?
Sir, I'm
यूएन
unable to
चार्टर,
recall. Yes, sir.
यूएन चार्टर पढ़ा है आपने?
Yes, sir, पढ़ा है.
उसके आर्टिकल 38 में कुछ सोर्सेज बताए गए हैं, दो पार्ट में, 38(1)
Yes, sir.
और
Yes, sir.
38(2).
Yes, sir.
कहीं आपका वो जो मैगजीन है वहां पे तो नहीं है?
Yes, sir.
आप रिकॉल कर पा रही हैं?
Yes,
नहीं
sir.
कर पा रही?
सर रिकॉल कर पा रही हूँ, मैं सोर्सेज रिकॉल कर पा रही हूँ, बट ये मैगजीम एग्जैक्टली आई कैन नॉट रिकॉल बिकॉज आई रेड दिस मैगजीम इन अदर लॉज आल्सो.
ओके, दिशा, एक क्वेश्चन ये मेरा ये है कि ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजेज और इंटरनेशनल कोर्ट ऑफ जस्टिस के जजेस में आपको कौन बड़ा दिखता है? किसको ज्यादा वेट देंगे आप?
Sir, I found myself not capable of judging compare between these two institutions, since these two institutions both have different field and both are supreme at their own levels. So I think so they are incomparable. I would not compare.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया का जज
Yes, sir.
इंटरनेशनल कोर्ट ऑफ जस्टिस का मेंबर हो सकता है?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The requirement for being a judge of International Court of Justice, it is that you have served in your state as the judge of the highest court in your country. So
इंडिया का कोई जस्टिस इंटरनेशनल कोर्ट ऑफ जस्टिस का जज रहा है?
yes, sir.
नाम बताएंगे?
सर नाम नहीं याद आ रहा है.
आप हाई कोर्ट के जज को हटाना है तो क्या करेंगे? उसको इम्पीच करेंगे? इम्पीचमेंट के थ्रू हाई कोर्ट के जजेस को हटाया जाएगा?
सर मैं आपका क्वेश्चन समझ नहीं पा रही हूँ.
हेलो.
हाँ यस सर.
अरे चलो ठीक है, आवाज आ रही है मेरी?
यस सर आ रही है.
अच्छा, तो मैं ये कह रहा था कि कैसे हटाया जाएगा उनको?
सर हाई कोर्ट के जजेस को?
हाँ, क्या उनको इम्पीच करना पड़ेगा?
Sir, there is no provision for the impeachment of high court judges. As far as I know, there is impeachment. इम्पीचमेंट सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजेस का भी नहीं होता, रिमूवल होता है. इम्पीचमेंट सिर्फ प्रेसिडेंट के लिए प्रोविजन अंडर द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया.
गुड. क्या ग्राउंड है जजेस को हटाने का? ग्राउंड क्या है?
सर इनकैपेसिटी एंड मिसबिहेवियर.
ओके, वेरी गुड. किसी जज को हटाया गया आज तक?
नो सर.
कोई प्रोसेस कभी इनिशिएट हुई है किसी जज के अगेंस्ट में?
Yes, a process has been initiated, sir, 2 years back, I think. Sir, I will read on this. I'm not sure on this.
अच्छा, देखिए, आपने वेल सेड के जो है रिमूवल्स के ग्राउंड्स भी बता दिए, इम्पीचमेंट नहीं होता. आईसीजे के जज को हटाना हो तो कैसे हटाएंगे?
Sir, I will read on this.
ओके, ठीक है दिशा, थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir.
ओझा सर, मुझे निकलना है, इसलिए थोड़ा सा
थैंक यू। ओके
ओके, थैंक यू, थैंक यू।
मनोज जी आप देखिए, मनोज जी आप देखिए, अनुज जी आपकी आवाज अभी नहीं आ रही, सॉरी। आप लोग, अनुज जी आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही अभी भी, सॉरी, यू टेक।
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Very good evening, Disha. I would start with a question that we found unsatisfactory on the last instance when we met, and that is, are you able to hear me? Because your video has somehow stopped. Now you're.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
So my question to you is, since your name is Disha, in which direction do you see that you will be able to help judiciary move? This was a question asked earlier also, if I'm right.
Yes, sir. So, sir, I'll give my 100% to whatever job is given to me, but a direction that I could think of is that since the judiciary is very burdened, in this direction, if I could help this field, I would do so. Any other direction I'm unable to think of.
All right, all right. Can a judge be dishonest even if he or she does not accept any cash or any kind? Can he still be dishonest? Or
Yes,
any
sir.
favors whatsoever, any kind of favor he does not accept or she doesn't accept, can he still be dishonest?
Yes, sir.
Please exemplify.
So, yes, sir. Since the work of judge is not to take money or perks only, his job is to do justice, be unbiased in his job. There are various aspects of his responsibilities. If he does not perform his best in that in those responsibilities, he is dishonest.
He's dishonest or he's incompetent if he does not perform his responsibilities.
Sir, if he knowingly does not perform his responsibilities, then he is dishonest. But if he gives his 100% and still not able to perform his responsibilities, then he would be incompetent.
How does one know? For starters, how do you know that this is your 100%?
I would know that this is all I can give to this job. This is all I could do for my responsibilities. This is my 100%. Beyond this, I could not go.
Someone's phone connection got disconnected. Okay. Even after the payment of dues, timely payment of dues, someone's phone got disconnected and the phone company belongs to the government, suppose. All right. Can that person move a writ petition for this issue?
Yes, sir. So the writ of mandamus can be moved.
Absolutely right. What is the famous habeas corpus case? Have you heard about it? ADM Jabalpur case.
Yes, sir. ADM Jabalpur versus Shivkant Shukla.
Summarize it.
Sir, I will read on the facts of this case, but in the judgment.
The outcome of the judgment, yes.
Yes, sir. So in this case, it was held. The most important thing was on the procedure established by law. The way the court interpreted this phrase, procedure established by law. The court interpreted that the law that is given under the Ware Acts or the law as it is, if somebody has followed that law, then the requirement of procedure established by law has been fulfilled. this was the basic interpretation of this phrase, procedure established by law in this case.
Did this case have anything to do with, say, the rights of the people to invoke their writ jurisdiction of the court?
So it was there, but I'm unable to recall.
All right, all right. What are the components of rule of law? We talk so much about rule of law. What are the components of this ingredient of this phrase?
Rule of law.
When can we say or not say that there is rule of law? Say for this country.
Yes. So the law should not be arbitrary, fanciful. It should be reasonable, fair and just. This is one of the components of rule of law. So I'll read on this.
Is discretion bad?
Rest.
Is vesting of discretion in an authority, is it bad for rule of law?
Sir, it has both the advantages and disadvantages. Sir, discretion is very necessary for the free working of an authority. If you are at some level of authority, some amount of discretion is needed. But this discretion should not be given so freely that it has the chances of abuses.
Fine. Your point is well taken. I got what you want to convey. Have you heard about doctrine of acquiescence?
Doctrine of acquiescence. No, sir.
All right. Is there any prescribed procedure for admission or rejection of a PIL?
Sir, there is a prescribed procedure, but I'll have to read on that.
Is there a difference between nationality and citizenship?
Yes, sir. So nationality is a wider concept than the citizenship. You might be a citizen of another country, like in the case of Akshay Kumar. He recently got the Indian citizenship, but before that he was the Canadian citizen. But he was Indian national. So
Fine. We'll move on. Is there a difference between civil contempt and criminal contempt?
yes, sir. So both these contempts are governed under the Advocates Act of 1961.
But that's
So
not the difference.
yes, sir. I'm coming on that. So criminal contempt is basically scandalizing or showing disrespect towards judgment, and civil contempt is basically not following the orders. What the order has been given, you are not following that order, you are guilty of civil contempt.
What is the
But if
difference
you are
between insurgency and belligerency? Insurgency, belligerency.
Sir, I'll read on this.
Perfectly all right, no problem. Tell me, can something passed by executive as a part of administrative law, can something passed by executive have the force of law as it is understood? We all understand this. I will help you in understanding the question. We all know that law is generally a product of the legislature. And sometimes people also say that while interpreting, the judiciary also makes something that has the effect of law. Similarly, is there any possibility that something that is created by executive has the force of law?
Yes, the concept of delegated legislations is there. Delegated legislations are formulated by executive law, and these laws are called bylaws. And under Article 13 of the Indian Constitution, law includes bylaws also.
Give me an example.
Sir, I'm unable to think of an example.
Fine, no problem. When you consider the structure of and functioning of the Indian constitutional components, we find the three wings, the important three pillars, that is legislature, executive, and judiciary. And often we come across the phrase separation of powers. So,
Yes.
as per your understanding of Indian constitution, separation of powers is explicit in the constitution or it is built in?
Sir, explicit and built in.
Is it
Sir,
explicitly given somewhere, or it is just implied and understood and somehow made a part of the functioning, even though not a part of the structure expressly?
yes, sir. Sir, expressly, there's only one provision in directive principles where it has been said that judiciary will be separated, should be separated from the other parts of the government, but impliedly we find various provisions since we have a modified form of separation of power. Separation of power, this doctrine in literal terms says that all parts of the government should be separately functioning and they should be you know, uh, they should be independent in their own spheres. But what Indian constitution has inculcated this doctrine, separation of power with checks and balances. No part of the government is so independent that it could not be balanced and checked by the other governments. All the parts of the government are checked and balanced by the other parts of the government also. So this is
By parts of the government?
yes. So this executive government, the legislative government, and the judicial limb of the government.
State, you want
So
to say. State, perhaps. That is the better word. The
Uh,
state is the
so-
word, or is it government? Judiciary is judiciary
the
a part
state.
government?
state of the state. Sorry, sir.
That's fine. And this separation of powers thing, when it is not even expressly given and only understood impliedly, can it be a part of the basic structure?
Yes, sir. So the doctrine of basic structure inculcates the spirit of constitution and not the literal words that are given under the constitution. Since separation of power is one of the forms one of the basic instinct of the state, the framework of the state that we live in. So it could be a part of basic structure.
Okay. In response to an earlier question of a respected panel member, you said that for uniform civil code, the masses should be ready for it. That is your understanding, that the masses should be ready. But they're already ready for uniform criminal code, na? Which is more
Yes,
onerous,
sir.
which is more onerous, more heavy, puts more liabilities. If they're ready for
Yes.
it, what is the how do you judge that they are not ready for civil code?
Yes. So criminal matters are the matters of the state, and the civil matters are personal matters. So criminal matters, when the accused comes or the victim comes, there the equality is the basic
Triple talaq is a
expectation of.
personal matter.
Yes, sir, it was the personal matter of Muslim law.
Then there would have
So
been necessity to wipe it off from the fabric. If it was a personal, why the state should be bothered?
So, because the very spirit of that law was not just, since it draw indiscrimination between the genders. The husbands were given arbitrary powers in the form of triple
Do
talaq. So
you have
it
a
was
role model?
necessary.
Do you have a role model?
Role model. Yes, I do have a role model. Mm,
Please name him or her or them.
Yes, sir. So her name is Sister Blendina. She was my morals teacher in my school. She has always been my role model.
And what inspired the most?
Sir, of her being seeing positivity in every negative situation, of doing every
Get
giving
reminded
a
of
fruitful.
positivity. I get reminded of positive school of law. What is that?
The positive, as the name suggests, positive law of school comes from the word posit. Posit means what is laid down. So, whatever is laid down as law by the authorities for the regulation of state, this school believes only in that law. The state has the power to posit the law, and whatever law is laid down, that is the law. And we should never go into the question of what law ought to be. It is all about what law is, and we have to regulate according to it.
If this is positive, then what is the negative law or negative school of thought? What is its counterpart, ideological counterpart?
Sir, one of the schools I can think of that opposed this positive law of school is the sociological school of law. I don't know the negative law of school. Sociological law of school has criticized this positive law,
Who is your
positive
favorite
school of
judge?
law. My favorite
Judge, if any. Since you
is.
are about to enter this particular position, this career, you have a role model in terms of somebody who you look up to as a judge?
Sir, I would not call it favorite, but I really admire Honorable Justice Krishna Iyer.
And what is aspects precisely, if you mind sharing?
Sir, is when I read his judgments, his judgments has,
And then judgment?
mm, sir, he has given various judgment on women empowerment
Any one
or
judgment,
on women.
any one judgment, if he's your favorite, or if you consider him good.
Yes, sir. Sir, may I take a moment?
Yes, please.
Sir, I will see this. I'm unable to recall, but I've read many of his judgments.
What is your take on corruption in judiciary?
Corruption in judiciary. Sir, corruption anywhere, whether judiciary or any other places.
What is your take on
Yes, sir.
corruption in judiciary?
So it is not a good thing, and it should not be there. Corruption. We as judges, as the part of judiciary, one is given responsibility of doing justice, and if one is corrupt, then he would not impart his responsibilities impartially.
How do you see you can help removing it or eradicating it at your individual level?
So if I get this chance to enter in this judiciary, then I will be at the lowest level. So I cannot do much about that. But at my personal level, I will not be corrupt. And if I'm given chance of moving towards higher judiciary, then I will whatever powers are given to me, I'll use them for eradicating corruption in the inferior courts.
Do you think it is proper to call a court inferior?
So here the term inferior that is used is not because of some intelligence level or some quality level. It is because in hierarchy you are at the lowest level. You are seeing a district or you are seeing only a division.
It is
So
not proper to call it lower court rather than inferior court? What do you say?
yes, sir. So it would be more proper to call it a lower court.
Last question from my side. What is the difference between judicial and quasi-judicial functions?
Judicial. So judicial functions are purely judicial in nature
Obviously,
yes,
that's
sir.
why they're called
Right.
judicial. What is the difference?
So quasi-judicial has some administrative quality in that functions also. So this is one of the distinction that I can think of, sir. I will definitely read on this.
All right. That's all from my side for now.
Yeah, Disha, are you married or unmarried?
Sir, I'm unmarried.
What type of husband you want in the life? What's your choice? Suppose I ask one quality which you want in your life partner. Give me one quality.
He should be honest.
Okay. Anything more?
Yes, sir. I want a friend in my partner. He should
A
be
honest,
honest.
a honest, boring person will do for you.
Yes, sir.
He has a honest, boring person. He has no sense of humor. He has no interest in the life. He is just only honest. Life
Yes,
can
sir.
be lived only via way of honesty.
So, so boring is a very subjective thing. A person can be does not enjoy partying or
Okay.
does not has a sense of humor. So,
What's your hobby?
sir, uh, sir, I like playing Candy Crush.
Your husband has no interest in the Candy Crush. He has no interest in the games, no
Yes, sir.
interest in the sports, no interest in the theater, no interest in the film. Will it do? Will it do?
So if I'm given a choice, I would see these things also.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just think again and tell me again. You can refine your answer. Which type of life partner you want?
So honesty is the prime most.
You
Uh,
still you still stick on the honesty.
yes, sir. So if there's no honesty, no
How
other entertainment.
how you can decide that a person is honest or not honest? How can you decide? Suppose the way the Indian wedding is being made, yeah, life partner is being chosen. Suppose your father mother is going for a boy and girl for boy, then how you can decide that he's honest or not honest? Very subjective. You don't care for the looks, for the personality. You only go for the honesty.
Sir, if I'm given only one chance that I have only one meeting with the boy and I have to choose one of them, then I will surely go for the good looking boy because there's no time that I can see the qualities. But if I'm given the time, so I will surely look into the qualities with the looks also.
I'm giving one more option to you. Do you want a humble life partner?
Sir, if you are asking me to compare the quality of honesty with the humility, so
Yeah,
my answer would be to prefer honesty.
honesty, not the humility.
No, sir.
Okay, okay. You want a rich life partner or just okay, okay?
So if I get the rich one, I will definitely go for him. But okay will also be okay for me. Uh, uh, uh,
I'm giving the two choice. One is an IS officer or UP cadre. You are a judiciary, and second a businessman of the UP. What will you choose? You are not sure because
Sir.
you are taking time.
Sir, I'll choose an IS officer.
Why?
Sir, I think that he would, as an IS officer, he would respect my education more than a businessman.
Respect more, or it is more more compatible. Posting is easy. Job profile is quite similar. Social status may be same. It is more compatible or more respect for your education.
Sir, as far as my thinking goes, compatibility between partners does not come from the profession. It comes from the nature of the individuals.
But Disha, most of the marriages in the services.
Yes, sir.
Swati will enlighten more. She has married her batchmate. That most of the marriages in the life is guided by some practical aspect of the life.
Yes,
where
sir,
compatibility
definitely.
is very important. If you see in the academy, there's so many marriages on these of the cadre. How you can discounting this real problem of the life by saying some idealistic issues? Can we a bit enlarge this? Your thought process, I want to understand more.
So
You are-
choosing a partner or a soulmate, I think, is a matter of ideals only and not material things. Material things do play a very important role to a bit, but over that, the ideal things comes into play, and that's why I'm preferring. I'm not preferring ideal things, but ideal things should be there according to me. With the material things also, there should be balance of both the things.
Thank you, Disha. Let me analyze your interview. Your biodata is excellent. When you start speaking your biodata, I am very attracted towards you. Yes, this girl need to be technical because you have the VLLB 2021, you have UGC NET, you have the JRF. Your biodata is too good. Second, your presentation. Today you improved substantially. Last time I was not happy. Today I'm very happy with you. Factually, you are very strong. UCC, you need to read a bit more. I'm
Yes, sir.
again saying, Disha, if you control the current affairs, you are through. Being secular, what is connotes which the Swati has asked, it was a full toss. You should have capitalized it because it is clearly said in the Constitution, and Supreme Court has interpreted this that atheist atheist may have a right under Section Article 25 to 28. Can't recall one thing. I think you have not given answer. The fundamental rights. It's very simple. You said I can't recall. Don't refuse it. There are 6 fundamental rights, if I remember correctly. You try to answer it. 4-5 आप आंसर कर ही जाते हैं. जो बड़ा आसान सा सवाल है जिसमें आप कुछ आंसर कर सकते हो उसको आप मत मिस करो. आपने एक आंसर किया यूसीसी इज नॉट टाइम फॉर द कंट्री. इट इज अगेंस्ट द स्टैंड ऑफ द सुप्रीम कोर्ट एंड द गवर्नमेंट बोथ. Supreme Court is saying that UCC is mandatory. It has to be done. If you see the speech of Atal Bihari Vajpayee 25-30 years back, he said UCC need to be there. We should not be in a hurry. We should debate it. Present government is very convinced for the UCC. If the 3 independent agencies are saying that UCC is mandatory, then as an aspirant, we should not say that it is not time for UCC. Second, the Saira Banu case, you said the Shah Banu case, it need to be another. And when UCC came, you play on a woman card. It is being said that the BJP has got a lot vote of the Muslim women because of this UCC and triple talaq. Nobody has yet certified this, but it is being discussed a lot in the newspaper. Being a girl candidate, you pitch on this, and it's reality also. If you read the UCC, it's about the inheritance. It's the marriage. It is more advantageous for the girl than boy. So therefore, this statement that the country is not ready for the UCC, I think it will give a negative impact. Enforcement of the fundamental right, you miss the prohibition. All of you have said this. It's fine. You can miss some time, but you try to recall it. Yeah, आसान सा है. Swati is not a law student. If she can recall, you also can recall. Data protection bill again need a bit more more information of less. Optical dicta is not binding, ratio is binding. Supreme Court, what the Jaiswal sir has said, the Supreme Court has said this. For the lower judiciary, optical dicta is also need to be respected. Probably the exact word was it need to be respected than the binding. Just you it
was that optical dicta has a strong persuasive value.
Yes. That's the correct word is the respected.
Yes.
It need to be respected, has a lot persuasive word, but you need to clear on these aspects. It's again it's a question which you can give the 1-2 marks extra to you. Everywhere there's chances of marks. Land reform when you say you Article 31A, 31B, 31C. You all the aspirants, whoever is listening this talk, should mug on the schedules, especially 9th, Article 31A, B and C, Article 39 B and C. It is very important. Anyone may ask. And when you are knowing that this question may appear in front of you, why you are leaving this? Custom and usage. Recently, I again have the complaint, you are not reading the newspaper. Kapil Sibal has given a lot on this recently. He has implemented Article 13 in terms of the UCC. He said custom and uses as they are there. He's saying that the UCC cannot be implemented because the Northeast will not accept the UCC. And he has tried to explain the custom and uses. And he tried to distinguish it. But I just see it, you will get a lot of answer.
Yes, sir.
जब आप आंसर कर रहे थे कस्टम थोड़ा आप स्लो बोलना चाहिए था. एक आपने क्या किया, you said I won't take a moment, then you refuse to answer. If you take a moment, you answer it. Otherwise, don't take a moment. Yes. Don't say the two things together. अगर आप अपने दिमाग को आप फास्ट आप शार्प करो, आपको लगता है मैं आंसर कर सकती हूँ, आप मोमेंट लो, नहीं कर सकती हो, आप नहीं कर सकते हो. Found myself not capable of judging. Don't say you are capable for everything. It's incorrect word. I found myself not capable. It shows your inferiority complex. You just try to analyze this line more. I will try to analyze this line by Swati and Shor also. You found myself not capable. It's not a good word. It shows the defect in the personality. It shows inferiority in the personality. You say something, you don't answer it, but don't say I'm not find capable to my answer. About the ICJ and the Supreme Court, you can say that the domestic law has the more importance than the international law. From this you can take, but I don't have the issue. ICJ just का नाम आप नहीं बता पाए, कोई बात नहीं था. Your best answer was the High Court judge. Best answer. That answer can take you towards selection. You said the impeachment is not for the judges. Very good answer. You again said the incapacity and the misbehavior, also good answer. And you also answered that the impeachment is only for the Rashtrapati. Process in to हाँ, दूसरा आपका एक मिस कर गए. जस्टिस रामास्वामी एंड गोगोई दो के खिलाफ इम्पीचमेंट आया था. जस्टिस रामास्वामी के खिलाफ आया था 1992-93 में, एंड गोगोई के खिलाफ जस्ट 2 years बैक आया था. कैन जज बी ए डिसऑनेस्ट? इसका आंसर आपका ठीक था, थोड़ा और अच्छा करते. आप कह सकते थे इनकॉम्पिटेंस इज आल्सो पार्ट ऑफ द डिसऑनेस्टी. Shor will agree or not agree, that's a different issue. But Shor has given a lead to express more. You can express it. Yes, incompetence, incompetence, but I consider the dishonesty is also part of the incompetence is also part of dishonesty. If you try to analyze more, and you may have satisfied him कि हाँ सही हो सकता है अगर ये शुरू में कन्विंस हो तो आप कन्विंस हो. मतलब इट इज द क्वेश्चन वेयर यू कैन कन्विंस मोर. मैंडमस वाला बहुत अच्छा था आपका. एडीएम जबलपुर केस में फिर आपने मिस्टेक किया. आपने क्यों नहीं तैयार किया हुआ एडीएम जबलपुर केस? व्हाई? दिस केस हैज द टू facade. One, that decided by the father of Dhananjay Chanchung, and Chanchung has dissented with his judgment. Yes. You need to read both. You cannot say that I am not clear in the facts or no. I know the full case of Jodhpur. Shor is knowing, Swati is knowing. Why you are not knowing? Yes. As a law student who are going to appear for interview and want to become judge, it's not fair at all. Yes. Corruption in judiciary, सवाल सौर के क्या था? Corruption judiciary और बैकग्राउंड, आप उसी पे कन्फाइन करो. आप काहे कह रहे हो कि हर जगह बैड है? आपसे क्या मतलब है? Confine only the question. पर्सनल लेवल पे आप मत जाओ इस सवालों में, आप एक आंसर करो ना। हैव यू आस्क्ड कि पर्सनली आप करप्ट होगे नहीं होगे? अरे कौन बोलेगा इंटरव्यू बोर्ड में करप्ट होगा, कोई बोलेगा थोड़ी यार। ऐसा क्यों करने का? क्यों कि मैं लोअर लेवल पे हूं? अरे किसी भी लेवल पे करप्शन को इंप्रूव किया जा सकता है, किसी भी लेवल पे एफिशिएंसी को इंप्रूव। ये क्यों करना, मैं लोअर लेवल पे हूं तो मैं नहीं करूंगी? अरे हम वहां भी करेंगे। आपका पेशकार करा उसको कंट्रोल करो आप, आपका प्यून करेगा उसको कंट्रोल करो आप, क्यों नहीं कर सकते हो? अगर आप कहते हैं डबल बेंच में बैठ रहे हो, आप अपने कलीग को कंट्रोल कर सकते हो। When I came on the aspect of how you choose your life partner, you are a very tender age girl, you have not probably thought for the marriage. When I was preparing, sure may recall, there's two aspirants, Nitya and Apurva, शायद स्वाति भी थी. We have discussed this a lot. Humbleness is virtue. Suppose you have let me explain why I want to say humbleness. Suppose you have said that I want a humble life partner. Without saying that I am humble, you are saying that I am humble. If you are saying I am humble, it's the most arrogant statement. But saying I want a humble life partner, you are saying that I'm also humble without saying this. In the Indian context where you are proceeding, Swati will tell more in this aspect. Compatibility is most important part. Because next 30, 40 years, raising the kids, hosting together, it has a lot of importance in any other thing. I'm not saying that you will not like a good-looking husband, you will not like a rich man, but compatibility is very strong. If you're saying I'm not going for compatibility, then you are not convincing, because it is not a realistic answer. We need to search on the realistic answer. When choice is given for eyes of a rich man, you have taken a lot of time. Why have you taken a lot of time? What do you do? It shows you have attracted towards money. You try to control this. This aspect, which type of life partner you want, just think of it. If you need to, you want to discuss, yes, we can, sir, discuss again. Purposely, I have, yes, not, sir, asked any question of the law, because a law has been asked, and we want to see your personality more. Disha, yes, you will selected. Iti was listening your whole conversation. She also told me this girl will be selected. She has not joined as a panelist, but she has listened your complete interview, and she has said her own opinion that this girl was selected. I agree with you. You will select it, and I also feel the same. Thank you. Yes, Swati, कौन लेगा पहले? So आप लोग sorry, आप ले लो. स्वाति आप लोग कोई भी ले लो.
Ma'am is kindly available then.
अच्छा. स्वाति हो आप? स्वाति आप लोग शॉर्ट तक आ जाएगी.
Sir, I'll begin, sir.
Sir, you are not audible, sir.
My first advice to you is about your demeanor. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I do not know, and I understand that this is not the forum to discuss about that. But I think you are too stressed beyond a limit. You are stressed. It may be out of performance anxiety. It may be out of some physical or mental issues, or maybe a continuous drain of energy, obviously, in preparation. I have been there, done that, as they say it, so I understand. But I believe that this is the time for recuperation, and do not worry much about that. Try to take care of your health. Stay hydrated. That's very necessary. You stay hydrated. If necessary, takes a few multivitamins or whatever, or ORS. Keep very well when you go on the interview day. You have to be very well hydrated, in fit state of health. That is very necessary. Okay, so because, yes, you are looking dull, you are looking a bit dull, and yes, I leave it to a fine sense of judgment as to how to cope with this. But you should take care of, yes, yourself. Point number 2 is that your smile is largely missing. There are certain areas where you're not supposed to smile, obviously. If it is a solemn question, you are dealing with a solemn matter, then obviously your demeanor should complement the content that you are presenting. And then if you are talking about triple talaq, then you can be laughing there. You can't be laughing there. You can't be smiling there. It is a matter of agony of hundreds of thousands of people. So that sensitivity must reflect and manifest in your response. But when there are neutral areas, neutral domains of response, for example, you were introducing yourself. then you should have been very jubilant, very jolly about it, that you are introducing yourself to the August panel, isn't it?
Yes.
So there will be instances where you may look happy, you may look joyous, and you may convey a feeling that you are enjoying the process. Okay, smile is largely missing. I strongly insist that you must replay this a couple of times and see where you could have put up a better version of yourself. Okay, a
Yes,
more
sir.
jolly version of yourself. That is two. I would advise you to please not say that academia में जो हमारा career है, that is my option B. Okay, refrain, unless you are cornered, refrain from saying so. Academy जैसे उसमें मैं option B की तरह रखे हूँ या स्टेपनी की तरह रखे हूँ, because especially for the reason, you cannot cite this reason that there are uncertainties and the number of seats is less. This is my first love, as simple as that. Judiciary, if you are convinced, then you try to justify it, and I'll say it is satisfactory that I had not made up my mind till this point of time. Thereafter, then I leaned towards judiciary, and I enjoyed the process. You said I then enjoyed the process of preparing for judicial services, isn't it? So
Yes.
let it not be the last sentence. Let it be the first one. That during my graduation, I was not very determined or very decided about the choices of my career, sir. I was late. I acknowledge that I was late in deciding which career I want. But when I found my love into preparing for judicial services, then I never looked back. If I get to in this service, I'll be very fortunate. I'll feel very fortunate. If I get to serve the country as an academician, I will consider it my equal fortune. That's all. That's how you say. I'll be equally fortunate to serve as that all. Option A, option B.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In earlier in your interview, you said that you have no hobbies, and you are quite convinced about it, and you gave reasoning also that you do not count these things as hobbies, meeting friends, passing time with them, and this and that. So you concluded that you don't have hobbies. But later on, you said that your hobby is playing Candy Crush. So that does not resonate well. Okay, sir did not mince his words. He was very clear, very categorical. Do you have hobbies? What is your hobby? And you said playing Candy Crush. So let's take a call. There's nothing right or wrong. Take a call. You want to mention this as a hobby? Say that it is actually somehow I believe, and ma'am would correct me, that even if you say Candy Crush, it is okay. It will be a matter of yes, ma'am. Kindly take it from here on this aspect, ma'am, on the aspect of hobby.
Yes. Yeah. See, you've written no hobbies. That's why the question came. But then later you changed and said my hobby is to play Candy Crush. There's nothing wrong in saying Candy Crush is my hobby. Half the world is playing Candy Crush. Yeah. Abhi to we saw that MS Dhoni's flight mein photo. Did you see it? He was also playing Candy Crush on his iPad, na? So then everybody's playing Candy Crush. You should have said it's a stress buster, or because hobbies are for busting your stress, and this is one of the most stressful times in your life. You're going to your career. You're going ahead with it, and all best wishes to you. Thing is, my point only is that I don't know. Maybe you're very nervous.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is coming out through the screen. That the nervous. When is your interview?
Ma'am, it's on 18th.
That's why maybe you're very nervous. Don't be that nervous, because see, your most positive part about you is that you look very smart, you speak very well, and I'm assuming you're strong on your law because you've qualified obviously for this. And see, the questions that I asked you about law was very basic. So I think in your nervousness, you forgot. And you have to understand that they know that you're going to be nervous. So don't say that I don't recall. If you don't recall all the fundamental rights, doesn't matter. You start saying the ones you know and start expounding. They'll ask you another question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So my take on you was on every question of mine. I think you were, because I think I was was I the first? Yes, I was the first one. So you were very nervous. By the time I think Jaiswal sir came, you were less nervous. So you were answering well there. But when I was asking, you were extremely nervous. I think in every question you were nervous, including your introduction to, when I asked you to introduce yourself, that is just so that you ease into the interview. You can look at
Yes,
the
ma'am.
panelists, they can look at you, nothing more.
Yes, ma'am.
In
Yes,
that
ma'am.
also, see, it came out as if you've learnt it by heart. You know, one could see the smile is coming now. You can smile.
Yes, ma'am.
Will give you a lot of confidence, and it will ease your presence. Everything else fine. In my thing,
Yes,
I really thought you were very, very, very nervous. And I just want to say one thing: don't say, I mean, I normally don't say what to say on merit, but on uniform civil code you can't say that the time is not right. I
yes,
mean,
ma'am.
in fact, all my other questions were geared towards that, so that you come to your answer. Like your, for triple talaq, you're saying it's correct. So that is connected. Now you should have said that we are already moving towards introducing uniform civil code by abolishing triple talaq. What is uniform civil code? It is only related to these laws. And
Yes, ma'am.
I think Virendra just told you also that it is actually uniform civil code. You should take it towards women empowerment.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
that is
ma'am.
where, if you don't
Hmm.
know, just see, the trick is to take the questions towards what is your strong point. Because
Yes,
everybody
ma'am.
will be nervous. Don't be that nervous. I mean, if you
Yes, ma'am.
please drink it right now. I mean, I can
Yes, ma'am.
see your throat going dry. You're that nervous. Don't be. You've already
Yes, ma'am.
crossed one hill. You're very young. And if you've not thought about choosing a life partner, the reply is, I'm very focused on my career, or this I'll think later. Because there's nothing
Yes,
right
ma'am.
or wrong in this.
Yes, ma'am.
Na?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And another thing, all your answers, now you come to the, all of you, even the Kartikeya before you, same thing. Yesterday also the girl, same thing. The main reply to the questions are coming at the end. As if these are theory questions that you're all are answering, and the last is the most important. Start with that last. In every question, I'm noticing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And don't say I want time and then keep quiet. Don't ask.
Yes, ma'am.
That question पे चले जाएगा. It's okay. Not 100% answers. Nobody will know. So don't worry. And please,
Yes, ma'am.
can we see you smiling?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, such a beautiful smile. Lovely teeth also. Lovely smile.
Thank you, ma'am.
You have to
Thank you,
relax
ma'am.
a little bit. You have to relax.
Yes, ma'am.
If you relax, you are speaking one of the, I mean, out of all the candidates that I saw till yesterday and today, your speech is the best. The way you speak, when you're answering correctly, it's the best. So you
Yes, ma'am.
have
Thank
to
you, ma'am.
relax a little bit. I mean, I think you're forgetting things in your nervousness. So don't be
Yes, ma'am.
little bit nervous.
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है, अगर भगवान
Yes,
में
ma'am.
खा सकते हो तो भगवान का नाम लो और आराम से, प्लीज, बहुत अच्छा
Yes,
करोगे.
ma'am.
Don't
Yes,
worry.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Ah,
Yes, ma'am.
all the best.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't worry. And
Thank you, ma'am.
are you going to wear this sari?
No, ma'am. This is not the sari I'm going to wear.
But anyway, you've draped it very well. So
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
wear saris otherwise.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to wear a sari. Yes,
No, but otherwise, are you comfortable wearing a sari? Then don't
yes,
wear.
ma'am. I'm comfortable.
Then it's okay, because I always
Yes.
advise, don't wear high heels if you're not used to it. So
Yes, ma'am.
don't worry, do well, be confident, less nervous.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
दिशा, क्या है ना कि पानी और वॉशरूम यू कैन यूज प्रायर टू द, सब आपका इंटरव्यू गया, आपने 2 घंटे वेट कर लिया, या 3 घंटे चल रहा है, ठीक है ना, तो ये
Yes,
सब
sir.
बहुत ही नेचुरल चीजें हैं कि आपको प्यास लग सकती है, वॉशरूम की रिक्वायरमेंट लग सकती है, यू जस्ट
Yes,
टेक
sir.
केयर ऑफ इट. उससे क्या
Yes,
होता है ना,
sir.
अगर आपके दिमाग पे आ गया कि यार मैंने पानी नहीं पिया है, मैंने वॉशरूम यूज नहीं किया है, अननेसेसरी क्या है वो आप दिमाग प्ले करता रहता है, तो जस्ट एड्रेस दिस इशू. जस्ट हैव,
Yes,
दीज
sir.
आर वेरी स्मॉल इश्यूज, बट क्या है आपके नर्वसनेस में, आपके कंफर्ट में फर्क ला देते हैं. यू नीड टू बी कंप्लीटली कंफर्टेबल, यू नीड टू बी लेस नर्वस. दूसरा, जो ईश्वर ने फिक्स किया होगा वही, हम चाहे जो कर लें,
नहीं
ये
अच्छा
सब हम,
होगा, don't
हाँ
worry,
अच्छा
don't be
होगा,
that nervous.
आपका होगा सब कुछ, लेकिन क्या है, हम लोग जो आपको, नो वन इज क्रिटिसाइजिंग हियर, वी आर जस्ट
Yes,
ट्राइंग टू
sir. Yes,
इम्प्रूव
sir.
यू। आपके एक
Yes,
एक मूवमेंट
sir.
को देखते हैं, हम हमारी 5-6 पेज भर जाते हैं आपको देखते सुनते हुए, ऐसे स्वाति भर जाते हैं, शॉर्ट भर जाते हैं। आप एक चीज को हम माइंड करते हैं कैसे हम इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं। तो आप भी
Yes,
सिलेक्शन
sir.
चाहते हो, हम भी चाहते हैं। आप भी मेहनत करो, हम
Yes,
भी
sir.
मेहनत कर रहे हैं, अपना सारा काम धाम छोड़ के आपके साथ लगे हैं। तो अगर आप सिलेक्ट
Hmm.
नहीं होगे, जितना दुख आपको होगा उतना हमको भी होगा। रिजल्ट
Yes,
आती है
sir.
स्वाति मेरा जान खाने लगती है, क्या हुआ बच्चों का, क्या हुआ बच्चों का, क्या हुआ बच्चों का, बिकॉज शी हैज गॉट द फिक्शन। इस बार रोल नंबर भी नहीं होता, नाम भी नहीं होता, हम ही बताते हैं। तो जैसे रिजल्ट आता है पूरी बिल्कुल चरस शुरू कर देती है। फिर शोज में कितनी एंजाइटी और कितना कंसर्न है। तो हम सबका कंसर्न हो चुका है आपके साथ, लगाव हो चुका है, आप लोग अपने बच्चे हो चुके हो।
Yes, sir.
या या
Sorry, please continue.
या
So now things are somehow crystallized. The main issue is your nervousness. Okay, is performance anxiety, nervousness, and continued stress. This cannot be stress of one day or couple of days or a week. I'm very sure somehow about it, subject to exceptional correction. But if I can read you correctly, it's a long drawn stress because. Let me tell you, even though it is not an individual mentorship session, but it's my duty because you don't have time. Today is 15th and you are going to appear on 18th. See, you are eccentric about honesty. You are eccentric about it. And that is why you will be thoroughly disappointed with your surroundings, always. एक भी दोस्त नहीं बनेगा सही, कभी नहीं बनेगा. You will never have good friends. Okay, you will never have good relatives. You'll maybe even you have problems in family also, you cannot say, but that will be there. So people who are eccentric about honesty, that is what happens. I understand it very well. But then that's how it is. That's how the society is structured.
Yes,
That's
sir.
how, an essential ingredient of honesty is to confront this truth that everybody cannot perform to your standards. That's also integral part of honesty. So you confront this truth. Okay, and be graceful enough to accept it. So पहली बात तो ये है कि you are thoroughly disappointed with people. That is one reading that I have. I have not met you, but that's my conjecture. Number one. So one, just do not worry about people's expectations, people's attitude towards you. Leave that all behind. Second point about your nervousness. What is your age right now?
So 26.
All right. And you have cleared UGC net also, if I'm right?
Yes, sir.
And that
Yes,
also.
sir.
What is your family background?
So my father is a librarian in North Central Zone Cultural Center,
All right.
and my mother is primary school teacher.
They must have helped you get through UGC net in the examination hall, isn't it? Like he's a librarian, and exam center would have been in the library itself.
No, sir.
He
The
did not
colleges are
have.
different.
All right, all right. So there was no cheating in your exam. You want to say this? Is it?
Yes, sir. There was.
So it is your hard-earned qualification, is it so? Nobody
Yes,
has
sir.
cheated into you. It was
No,
all
sir.
perseverance and hard work and resolve. Was it?
Yes, sir. Yes,
किस
sir.
से डर लग रहा है तुमको? डर किस चीज से लग रहा है? I don't understand. Has somebody given it to you in legacy that it will be taken away? किसी से legacy मिला है, gift मिला है, ये ले लेगा कोई, छीन लेगा. अगर PCS में
No,
selection नहीं
sir.
हुआ तो फिर मेरा क्या होगा? Do you not believe in what you have done till date?
So I believe in that.
That's it. The matter ends. Your job is not to get selected. Your job is to give interview. You end it there.
Yes.
That's my advice to you. Okay, please
Yes,
just
sir.
be the part of the process. You are nobody to decide or choose the consequence. Okay, आपका काम नहीं है. बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्म करोगे, नहीं होगा सिलेक्शन. मैं आज बोल देता हूँ, नहीं होगा सिलेक्शन. क्या कर लोगी? क्या कर लेंगे हम लोग? बताओ क्या कर लेंगे? फिर से अटेम्प्ट करेंगे. जब तक अटेम्प्ट रहेगा तब तक देते रहेंगे. दैट इज व्हाट वी डू. स्टूडेंट को और भी कोई धर्म होता है क्या? इज देयर एनी अदर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी और बर्डन ऑन यू टू फीड योर फैमिली और समथिंग लाइक दैट?
No,
While
sir.
you are a student, the only job is to prepare as best as we can and then perform.
Yes, sir.
Prepare, perform.
Hmm.
तीसरा नहीं. तीसरे का तुम्हारा मैंडेट नहीं है सोचने का सिलेक्शन होगा नहीं होगा, और ये सब तुम्हारे हाथ में है भी नहीं. सो
Yes,
आप डिसाइड कर लो कि होगा नहीं होगा, भाड़ में जाए. आई डोंट केयर. I'll give my 100% as you say. That's what you
Yes,
do.
sir.
So just firmly believe what you say.
Yes, sir.
Have the conviction of your own philosophy. That's my request. Okay, we'll move on. इसका फिर टाइम खत्म हो जाएगा सर. मैं पॉइंट्स जल्दी बता देता हूँ तो ये हेल्प करेगा. आप इस पे सोचना बेटा. हाँ, आप जरूर सोचना.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You should not worry about these things. कि performance pressure लोग क्या कहें. Just forget about it.
Yes, sir.
Somehow I believe I can peep into your soul. So I say it. Don't do that to yourself. You don't deserve it.
Yes, sir.
Don't do that. मन में आ जाए कि इंटरव्यू नहीं देना है तो मत देना 18 को। ये होना चाहिए लेवल ऑफ सोल का लेवल, ये होना चाहिए कि नहीं दूंगी, नहीं मन है मेरा। इस लेवल का प्रिपेयर्डनेस हो तब मजा आता है जिंदगी जीने में। ओके, याद रखना इस चीज को। और नेक्स्ट आ जाते हैं, बहुत जनरल हो जाएगा। ओके, नेक्स्ट इज this point that if you do this, that you listen to the question carefully, do not get into stress, then you'd be able to judge the scope and requirement of the question better. That will be the first benefit that will flow naturally from it. For instance, ma'am had asked you, how do we know that India is secular, in the first instance also, and then she had to repeat it also. Why? Because in response to the first question, you answered the difference between Western secularism and Indian secularism and not the requirement of the question. If you listen to it, if you're not stressed out, not freaked out, you listen to the question carefully, you are smart and intelligent enough to make out ye ke puchna kya cha rahe hain, and immediately I don't know. It is always better to understand the question correctly and say that I don't know, rather than not understanding the question and trying to reply something else. वो ज़्यादा injurious है. Because it conveys that she does not understand the question. Second, it eats up your time.
Yes, sir.
Your time which can be utilized for answering a good question, which you know. Okay, तो ये एक काम कर लेना बेटा। नेक्स्ट है, ऐसे ही देखो, मैम ने पूछा, शायद मैम ने ही पूछा कि what are writ petitions? What are writ petitions? These were the words, if I marked correctly. And you started कि they are of these kinds. Nobody asked how many kinds, and then also the fifth kind you do not recollect. You remember that part? You could not recollect.
Yes, sir.
Also.
Sir, I defined. Okay, sir.
Very shortly, you defined writ petition somehow. कि ये instrument है अपना right enforce करने का ये, and these are of different kind. Nobody asked the kinds. That could have been an extra question. If you stop there, unnecessary elaboration is avoided, then you will get another question. How many different kinds of writ petitions are there? Then you go ahead. कि एक है दो, अपने आप से ही बोलो कि इतने kind के हैं और फिर बता भी ना पाओ kind. That's not done. All right. So we will take care. फिर वहीं पे it comes back to whether I have understood the scope of the question or not. It's there. Scope से beyond नहीं जाना है, जो है ज़्यादा जवाब नहीं देना है. That's one thing. Next is data protection bill. Ma'am asked, what is data protection bill? And nobody asked about the drawbacks of data protection bill. So legitimate uses, and then you went on to till section 7 also. Nobody asked that. So you see, there is a continuing thread of aberration and deviation. And fortunately, it is the same thread. There are not multiple threads. The thread is that you misunderstand the scope of the question, or you try to breach the boundaries of the question. Don't do that. अननेसेसरी बेचारा तुम्हारा एनर्जी भी वेस्ट होगा उसमें, अननेसेसरी उस एरिया से टेंजेंशियल और फ्रिंज वाले क्वेश्चंस बनेंगे। डोंट डू दैट। एकदम टू द पॉइंट आंसर करने का कोशिश करना, ठीक है बेटा? इसमें जरूर बिल्कुल अननेसेसरी उनको टाइम वो मत देना कि यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड द लिमिटेशंस। दिस इज द लिमिटेशन ऑफ द क्वेश्चन, और उतना आंसर दे दिया। पूछा गया डेटा प्रोटेक्शन बिल क्या है, कि ये ऐसा ऐसा बिल है, इस चीज के लिए लाया गया है, राइट टू प्राइवेसी से संबंधित है, इतना बता के शांत हो गए। देन क्वालिटीज फॉर जज, बहुत अच्छा, तुमने लाइन बहुत अच्छी बोली, लेकिन उसको अगर और अच्छे तुमने बोला कि पहले काम जज का यही, दिस कैन बी अ विनर, योर आंसर कैन बी अ विनर, अ जज शुड नॉट बी जजमेंटल, लेकिन यू हैव टू कंप्लीट इट, अ जज शुड नॉट बी जजमेंटल अदरवाइज देन फॉर फैक्ट्स एंड एविडेंसेस। जजमेंटल तो होना ही पड़ेगा, लेकिन किसी एक्सट्रेनियस या इरेलेवेंट चीज को लेकर जजमेंटल ना हो। फैक्ट्स और एविडेंस में तो जजमेंटल होना ही पड़ेगा ना। तो इसको अपना अपने, you are the best person to phrase it. You understood my
yes sir.
फिर आपने बोला हाँ, you use the term very unbiased. Judge has to be very unbiased. Although it is more technical than required, but it is my duty to tell you that it has to be just unbiased. There is no very or less unbiased.
Yes sir.
Don't qualify it with the word very.
Yes sir.
And you also use the term prima facie. He should be very unbiased. Yeah. No, prima facie nahi. Substantively also. Prima facie nahi. Otherwise also. और एक बार बस खाली तुमसे गलती हुई, जब मैम को I saw you just after this question about qualities, qualities for a judge. Then you happen to cut short, ma'am. Maybe because of this online medium of communication, there is a lag.
Yes sir.
Be very cautious, beta. Okay.
होगा।
Yes.
तो आपको when you are physically there you will come to know कि now
तो बात करते
be very cautious. Give them all the ample time or opportunity. Sir,
Yes, sir.
हाँ आप अभी सर हाँ. So give them the opportunity, read their face, and when you understand that now the question is over and now they are expecting it, then only you start speaking. Okay, never try to cut short.
Yes, sir.
You will not
Yes,
try
sir.
to cut short. Never happen to cut
Yes,
short.
sir.
If you are posted as an authority, हाँ वो जो बात थी कि as a this thing, if हाँ in response to the questions on discretion, there was a question on discretion, whether discretion
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
you said अभी मैं फाइन उस ट्यूनिंग कर रहा हूँ, इसलिए यू में कंसीडर कि इतना ज्यादा भी स्पेसिफिक होने की जरूरत नहीं है, बट इट इज माय ड्यूटी टू टेल यू व्हाट आई हैव रिटन. आपने कहना शुरू किया कि इफ यू आर पोस्टेड एज एन अथॉरिटी, इफ यू आर पोस्टेड एन अथॉरिटी, इट इज बेटर टू से इफ वन इज, वो पैनल को ही आप यू बोल देंगे ना, मे बी इट इज नॉट दैट हार्मफुल,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
इफ
Yes,
आई
sir.
एम
Yes, sir.
और इफ वन इज पोस्टेड, ऐसा कर लीजिए आप, थर्ड पर्सन में कर लीजिए, जैसा भी आप, ठीक है, वो आप देख लीजिए. Then the next point is ट्रिपल तलाक में आपने बोला इवन दो आई कैन नॉट रिकॉल द केस, ऐसा ऐसा हुआ था, यू सेड दिस दिस हैज हैपेंड, आई कैन नॉट रिकॉल, नोबडी आस्क्ड यू अबाउट द केस. इट वाज सिंपली ट्रिपल तलाक के बारे में समथिंग, सम क्वेश्चन, नोबडी आस्क्ड यू अबाउट द केस. सो सेल्फ फ्लैजिलेशन, डोंट डू दैट कि oh I don't remember the case sir but these were the facts. No, nobody asked you about the case. When they ask it, then you say sir exact okay, no, ठीक है. Next is, should I repeat my question? Ma'am said perhaps yes. Should I repeat my question? You said no. But that's not how we say it. We say it so kind of you ma'am, but I have understood the question.
Yes.
जाता है ना, मैनर्स है, ये एटिकेट है. नो नहीं बोलिए. हाँ, आई एम ग्रेटफुल मैम बट आई बिलीव आई हैव अंडरस्टूड. आई हैव अंडरस्टूड नहीं, आई बिलीव आई हैव अंडरस्टूड. आई बिलीव आई हैव गॉट द क्वेश्चन. दैट्स हाउ वी से. और फिर मैम ने कहा कि रिलैक्स, डोंट वरी, बिकॉज मैम जज्ड दैट यू आर अंडर प्रेशर. सो शी सेड दिस, आप रिप्ले कीजिएगा, देखिएगा, रिलैक्स, एंड देन शी सेड कि डोंट बी नर्वस एंड डोंट वरी. देन यू सेड यस यस मैम, थैंक यू सो मच मैम. हाँ यस नहीं कहा था कि हाँ हाँ ठीक है नहीं ऐसे नहीं. यस, ये छोटे छोटे चीजें हैं which will add to your persona, which will there will कोई मेहनत नहीं लगनी है. if you ask me कुछ एक्स्ट्रा लेबर, just fine tuning ऐसे को चांस you. हाँ देखो छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं. About triple talaq you used this sentence and then the Supreme Court got the chance for a progressive judgment. ऐसे नहीं. Okay. And then the Supreme Court got entrusted with the responsibility of deciding the case, and then the Supreme Court had an occasion to. That's that.
Yes.
जैसे कि वो बैठे थे कि इसको किसी तरह से करवाते हैं PIL और ये करवाते हैं, ऐसे नहीं. ठीक है. ज्ञानवापी मॉस्क के बारे में हाँ, when you and this was also a fact कि औरंगजेब उस समय ये था वो था. Not necessary. This is not necessary. Why did they order the survey? For this reason. Who is the authority? This is the authority. और ये बात भी है सही कि वो औरंगजेब था भी. That's a bias. That's a bias you already have while you are at interview stage. What would you do at the stage of being a judge? That may convey a misunderstanding. Facts are facts. It's not a fact. Fact अगर हो भी कि उस समय औरंगजेब था, then that is irrelevant fact. उसने डिमोलिश किया था, उसके लिए इररिलेवेंट फैक्ट है. इसको तो मैं सर्कमस्टेंशियल भी न मानूं. दैट्स नॉट इवन सर्कमस्टेंशियल फैक्ट टू डिसाइड दैट एक्ट कि वो किया था डिमोलिश कि नहीं किया था. ऑलराइट.
यस.
हम ये सब इसमें जाएंगे नहीं, हम बोलेंगे नहीं कुछ भी जो जरूरी नहीं है.
यस.
हाँ देखिए कैसे एक लाइव एग्जांपल है हाउ something that was unwarranted that lands you in unnecessary trouble, if not trouble, unnecessary lengthy discussion. About stare decisis, the doctrine of stare decisis, you started answering that it is enshrined in Article 141. Nobody asked it. What is stare decisis? Jaswal sir asked. Since you mentioned 141, that's why the question arose कि अगर 141 नहीं होता तो क्या stare decisis, आप फिर वहीं पे आखिर आ गए वापस वहीं पे कि नहीं सर वो तो पहले से. Then why to qualify it by 141? If there is a doctrine that exists in an absolute manner, even if it is not expressly enshrined somewhere, then there's no need to make a reference to it. Let them ask the Indian Constitution. देखो अपना एक क्वेश्चन किल कर लिया आपने. If so, stare decisis means the binding value of the precedent. That's all. Stop there. कहीं इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में दिया हुआ है, yes, the spirit of this is enshrined in Article 141. दो क्वेश्चन हो गया. That's what you do. Be clever. You are not clever because you are honest. That's why. That's the problem. ये हो गया. एक लाइन आपने कई बार इस्तेमाल की, I will read on this. It's my sincere advice that you rephrase this. रट डालो, रट लो इसको. आज से 3 दिन में रटो कि यही बोलूंगी कि I believe I need to study this. I will read on this नहीं. I need more study on this. That's what you should.
Yes, sir.
ये प्रेस तुम चेंज कर लो, हम पे भरोसा करके बस don't apply your mind.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
देखो ICJ और हाई कोर्ट में the spirit and principle of your answer was right. That it will be outrageous for me to rate them like that. But you don't go. You are being asked to rate. You have already been asked to rate. Then you wriggle your way out. That's what you do. Okay, you do not escape. You wriggle your way out from this, through this. ठीक है? कैसे? देखिए, आप कहना ये चाह रहे थे कि उनको कंपेयर करना अनकंपेरेबल है. आपने यही बोला कि दे आर इनकंपेरेबल. दैट इज व्हाट यू सेड. बट व्हाट यू से कि सर, इफ आई एम परमिटेड रादर देन कंपेयरिंग देम वर्टिकली, काइंडली अलाउ मी टू कंपेयर देयर हॉरिजॉन्टली. दोनों का फील्ड ऑफ ऑपरेशन अलग अलग है. ऐसे है, इनका ऐसे यहाँ तक सीमित है जुरिस्डिक्शन, उनका ऐसा जुरिस्डिक्शन है. हो गया काम, निकल. नोबडी वांट्स अ राइट आंसर और रॉन्ग आंसर, बट यू डोंट एस्केप इट कि नहीं मैं इस लायक नहीं हूं कि मैं उनको जज कर सकूं. दैट इज नॉट अ पॉइंट वेयर दे आर जजिंग योर ह्यूमिलिटी. Okay, they are judging your sense.
Yes, sir.
आप सेंस है चीजों का कि नहीं है, तो आप एकदम एनालिटिकल माइंड है तो यूज इट. ओके, वर्टिकल कंपैरिजन पॉसिबल है नहीं बिकॉज देयर फील्ड ऑफ ऑपरेशन, स्फीयर्स ऑफ ऑपरेशन एंड इन्फ्लुएंस आर डिफरेंट. सो ओनली हॉरिजॉन्टल कंपैरिजन कैन बी डन. यू से दैट द स्फीयर ऑफ ऑपरेशन इज डिफरेंट. इनका यहाँ तक एंड इफ आई रिमेंबर, ऐसे बोल दो कि इफ आई रिमेंबर करेक्टली, if it can at all be treated as elevation, then one has to be a part of ICJ, one has to be the judge of the justice of the highest court of the chief justice of the highest court of the land. Stop there.
Yes, sir.
हाँ कहा ना कहा, निकल गए. सिचुएशन से निकल लेना है, भागना नहीं.
Yes, sir.
लास्ट पॉजिटिव, ठीक है, इसमें कोई बात नहीं. दिस इज, हाँ, आई आस्क्ड यू व्हाट इज पॉजिटिव लॉ. Then you started the phrase with as the name suggests. A cardinal mistake. This is a cardinal mistake. We don't do that. Okay? नाम में ही पता चल रहा है तुम सवाल पूछ रहे हो, बेवकूफ आदमी. जब नाम में ही पॉजिटिव लिखा हुआ है तो फिर हमसे क्यों पूछ रहे हो? You are not conveying it, and a person with ordinary sense will not perceive it that way. I am very sure. But my job is to give you all the caution points possible. Don't say that as the name suggests. वो सब ना बताओ, तुम बताओ.
Yes, sir.
Not suggest.
Yes, sir.
फेवरेट जज में IRG का बोलो, ठीक है, दैट इज फाइन, दैट्स फाइन. यू मे नॉट बी एबल टू रिकॉल अ पर्टिकुलर केस. करप्शन वाले केस में लास्ट पॉइंट, दिस इज माय लास्ट पॉइंट ऑन, यस, चॉइस नहीं, ये दो और हैं. करप्शन वाले केस में यू सेड दैट सिंस आई विल बी एट अ वेरी लोअर थिंग, लोअर स्ट्रेटम, so that is why my field of operation or the scope of contribution will be limited. Rather than that, say wherever I am posted, I would like to present an example and enforce it strictly in my sphere of influence. Stop it there. That's all you can do. You
Yes,
never say anything which connotes negativity कि ये मैं नहीं कर सकती, उसमें क्या कर लूंगी मैं, जब वहां जाऊंगी तब देखा जाएगा. No, wherever I am posted, sir, I will try. अपने के लिए नहीं कहा जाता है, दूसरे के लिए कहा जाता है, ठीक है. I will present an example of utmost integrity and highest standards of honesty in my work, and I will make sure that it is enforced in the entire working structure under me. That's all. That's the least I can do. इससे शुरुआत आप करिए, ऐसा कर दीजिए. वो तो सबको मालूम है क्या होता है, क्या हो सकता है, क्या नहीं. बट आपका रिस्पॉन्स, सर का एक क्वेश्चन था लास्ट में, जो क्वेश्चन थे दो कि चॉइस बिटवीन IAS एंड बिजनेसमैन as life partner. So first you chose between them and you chose an IAS officer. You had your own reasoning. I'm not here to evaluate your reasoning. You are entitled to have your reasoning. But then later on you said that compatibility is decided from nature and not profession. और दोनों कॉन्ट्रडिक्ट हो गया. कंपैटिबिलिटी पर जब एलैबोरेट किया गया, आपका रीजनिंग था that since he is into the services, he may be he is likely to honor my education and struggle more. That is what you said, if I got you correctly. But then you contradicted yourself that it is not the profession which decides the compatibility. It is the nature, and that is what should have been your answer in the first instance. Who would you choose between IAS and businessman? You should have said कि I would choose the better person. End it there.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, that's one. यहाँ पर हो गया, और तो बस मुझे और कुछ नहीं कहना. मैं I have taken a lot of your time. I do not see any reason for young and what I should say hard working girl like you that should not be ना, वरना किसी के लिए तो कोई फिर स्टैंडर्ड ही नहीं रहेगा ना. तुम्हारे जैसे लोग जो मेहनत करके यहाँ तक पहुंचे हैं, रगड़ रहे हैं, दिन रात अपना सब कुछ लगाए दे रहे हैं, अगर वो नर्वस होंगे तो फिर एग्जाम्पल किस चीज का दिया जाए? बताओ, किसका एग्जाम्पल दिया जाए? कि I think you actually have given your 100%. You have not left any stone unturned in your knowledge. Your karma.
दिशा 3-4 बात मैं बोलूंगा. पहली बात, आपका पिछली बार की तुलना में इस बार परफॉर्मेंस बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा था, लेकिन साथ में आप लगातार इस दबाव में काम कर रहे हो कि मेरा क्या होगा. आप नर्वस बहुत हो. यू आर टू मच कंसर्न अबाउट द इंटरव्यू. यू फॉरगेट दिस कंसर्न. आपका नॉलेज बहुत अच्छा है. ओनली एडवाइस आई विल गिव यू, जस्ट रीड द न्यूज़पेपर. कोई लॉ मत पढ़ो आप, कोई मॉक मत दो आप. जो अगला 3 दिन है, जस्ट यू लिव हैप्पीली. जब महाभारत युद्ध पहले कहा गया ना कि आप इस युद्ध को एंजॉय करो, ये दोबारा बार बार नहीं आएगा. इफ यू रीड द महाभारत, इज बीइंग सेड, जब युद्ध स्टार्ट होने वाला था, बोला ये दोबारा नहीं आएगा. ऐसा मौका फिर नहीं आएगा कि आपको मौका मिल रहा है एक युद्ध में संघर्ष करने का, इतने वीर लोगों से.
Oh, it seems sir had got disconnected. I will give one advice in continuation of what sir has said. I will somehow feel this intuition that you should go through the NCERTs of 6th, 7th and 8th in 5 to 6 hours. Just go through them.
पन्ने पलट दो.
ये पता नहीं क्यों मुझे इंट्यूशन हो रहा है. तो तुम्हारा ये जो बेसिक्स है, सेपरेशन ऑफ पावर, दिस एंड दैट, एवरीथिंग विल गेट कवर्ड. सिर्फ इंडियन पॉलिटी वाले, इंडियन पॉलिटी एंड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन वाले, दैट्स ऑल.
Yes, sir.
तो आप क्या करो ना, आप इसको एंजॉय करो, मोमेंट को. होना होगा तो होगा, नहीं होना होगा तो नहीं होगा. बिलीव इन द डेस्टिनी. आपने बहुत मेहनत की है, आपके पास सब कुछ अच्छा है, आप अच्छा बोल लेते हो, आपकी लैंग्वेज भी ठीक है. जो आपको सजेशन दिए गए कि आप स्लो चलो, 1 2 3 का फॉर्मूला जो है यूनिवर्सल हिट फॉर्मूला है, उसमें कोई ज्यादा इशू है नहीं. उसको आप अप्लाई करो, कूल रहो, ईज रहो, स्माइल करो. स्वाति ने कहा कि आपके टीथ बहुत अच्छे हैं, आप उसका भी इस्तेमाल करो. आप अच्छी लगते हो, आप सुंदर हो ही, उसमें कोई बहुत ज्यादा हमारे कहने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. मेरे कहने से ना आप ज्यादा सुंदर हो जाओगे, ना कहने आप सुंदर हो. ईश्वर ने आपको अच्छा बनाया है, ईश्वर ने गढ़ा है, माँ बाप ने अच्छी परवरिश दी है, आप यहाँ तक आए हो. सौर ने आप पे सवाल खड़ा किया कि आपने चीटिंग की है, आपने बहुत अच्छा आंसर दिया. मोस्ट ऑफेंसिव क्वेश्चन हैज बीन आंसर्ड इन वेरी वेरी मैच्योर वे, वेरी मैच्योर वे. I will say Saur was very offensive. आप replay this. Saur was very offensive. He was purposely offensive. As a mentor, as a trainer, he want to be offensive. You see your mannerism. I appreciate a lot. If that question will actually appear in the same way, you will select it on that question. There are so many questions which can be selected. तो आप बेटा enjoy करो जिंदगी, आराम करो, और most likely आपका नाम मैं जरूर देखूंगा लिस्ट में.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
God
Thank
bless.
you.
All the best. सब अच्छा होगा.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Bye bye.
Thanks.